We heard 2, but 3 I think was on the stat book here later on this morning. But what an outing for McLaren and the defense. And
the defense stepped up behind her. I mean, when you hold a team to no runs, it can't always be the pitcher. You got to have somebody behind you. Because I didn't make it to the game last night, but my wife came home and said, people were hitting the ball. They were just playing defense.
No doubt. And Coach Hisman said that we hit the home ball a little bit, but just didn't string those hits together to get a run home. They had some opportunities, I believe, in the second and the fourth inning, but shutting out a team like Bishop Heelan, a big feather in your cap there. Atlantic has won 4 of the 5 now and picked up their 22nd victory of the season, and they're now second in the Hawkeye 10 conference standings behind the Creston Panthers that had quite a year
I'll tell you what,
this season.
ADM's the one that got Creston earlier in the season, handily whooped on him, I guess is the way to put it.
Well, we're going to see 2 really good pitchers. Atlantic with Zoe Kirchhoff and Hagedorn for ADM. We'll talk a lot more about her as we move along. Hagedorn has an ERA of under 1.58 is what her ERA is.
Ouch.
And so I was hoping Coach Hensman was hoping too, and the Atlantic players are hoping too. That's why they schedule these games, Roger.
No, and that's exactly right. You want to see pitching like that because then you get more confident as the tournaments go on, and you start the postseason a week from Thursday, and I think I got that right.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
And you want to be ready, and great pitching. You can't simulate that in practice. I mean, you can have Zoe and Peyton and Brooke throw to you. Not Brooke, that's Mom.
Bryn.
But Bryn throw to you, but they're getting better all the time, and you've got a really seasoned one here that, when you said a .58 ERA, she's doing something right.
No doubt about it. Broadcast brought to you by Olson's Outdoor Power, your one-stop service and equipment shop with locations in Atlantic and Carroll. Also brought to you by the First Whitney Bank. They're the only bank you'll ever need, First Whitney Bank. Body Basic, call 254-BODY to get your body back to the basics. And the Seed Pros, to buy your side to maximize yields from the word go. Your Pioneer Pros, John Becker, Mark Van Tiger, Gary Dinkla, and Nick Knudsen. 2nd Street Auto, your transmission pros, and Cass Health, the neighbors caring for neighbors. Outfitters Plus Outlet Store, your home for personalized sports apparel in Atlantic. Also brought to you by the Super Bowl. Grab the gang and head to the Super Bowl for Glow Bowling every Friday and Saturday night. And Swida, they're safe, reliable Swida. All your transportation needs and Stein Seed is Stein has yield. Contact Darren Petty, your local Stein representative. Hy-Vee Bakery, Deli, Grocery, Meat Department, and Pharmacy, always there for you, your Atlantic Hy-Vee. Atlantic Ag and Auto, your locally owned full-line CarQuest retail store in Atlantic, and Rolling Hills Bank and Trust. A hometown bank for hometown people, member FDIC. Also brought to you by Greg Young Automotive Group in Atlantic. They go the extra mile for you. Olson's BP, great food, Godfather's Pizza, and quality BP fuel. The Keep You Going company, Olson's BP in Atlantic. And Oak Point Wealth Management, Aaron Friend, Oak Point Wealth Management, located inside Snyder and Associates in Atlantic. One thing, this team, one senior, McKenna Sontag, who's really come on at the plate. We know her defense is good, but she's really improved her batting average as the season gone along, and she had a double last night, by the way. But a young team for Atlantic again this year, much like last year.
Yep.
A few issues getting used to the outfield, and that is where Coach Hensman thinks this team is much improved. We'll hear that in his interview that's coming up here in a little bit. We'll also hear more from Roger Warren here in our pregame show. Lots to come yet. ADM waiting to get on the field to do their warm-ups, and then Atlantic, and then we'll have the opening pitch here from Atlantic. We're back right after these with a visit with Atlantic head coach Terry Hensman.
Olson's Outdoor Power is your one-stop service and equipment shop for all things outdoor. We sell the best power sports products in the business, from Polaris, Can-Am, Sea-Doo, and Ski-Doo, trailers to tackle any job from H&H, Triton, and Wilson, and we continue to lead the way in lawn and garden equipment with great products from Exmark, Dixie Chopper, Husqvarna, Cub Cadet, Steel, and Echo. Add factory-trained technicians in 2 locations, and it's easy to see why Olson's Outdoor Power is the leader in all things outdoor. Olson's Outdoor Power, your one-stop service and equipment shop with locations in Atlantic and Carroll.
First Winnie Bank is the longest-standing locally owned bank in Atlantic, and as such, we take pride in how we serve our community. For generations, we have been involved with our customers and their families by getting involved in community events and by supporting technology and teaching financial literacy in our schools. You'll also see our support of athletics on the scoreboards at home events. It's this involvement that allows us to know our customers and their families for generations. First Winnie Bank, the only bank you'll ever need. Member FDIC.
Have you ever heard the saying, people spend their life building wealth and neglecting their health, only to wish they could trade their wealth for better health at the end? This is Dr. Fritz Beyer, and it has now been over 30 years since my first chiropractic adjustment. I still get asked, do you get adjusted? Absolutely. I try to get adjusted at least once a month. I'm 47 now and still try to stay as active as ever. While I do get a few more aches and pains than when I was younger, it feels great to be able to step on the mat and help kids learning to wrestle. Chiropractic has helped me feel young enough to do it. If staying active is part of your future plans, call 254-BODY to get your body back to the basics.
At 2nd Street Auto, it's our mission to get you back on the road fast. And it all starts with free local towing. Once you're back at the shop, we talk you through your car repair with a free and fair estimate. We do everything in-house so you know who's working on your car. Our Hercules tires come with free road hazard repair, free rotation for the life of the tires, and a free alignment check. And nobody can beat our transmission rebuild and repair experts. Brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, preventative maintenance, and service work make 2nd Street your first stop.
We talk about it a lot, and you want to get your players against some tough pitchers and some tough competition, and you've knocked off a lot of those tough opponents. One of those last night against Bishop Heelan with a run in the top of the 7th inning. Really a great defensive battle, good pitching, and a timely hit there late in the game. Talk about that win over Bishop last night.
Yeah, that's a big win for us, Tom, especially at this point in the season, and the fact that the game came down to a 0-0 tie going into the 7th inning. Zoe Kirchhoff did a great job of getting on base with the base hit, stealing second base, and Dylan Ball getting the bat on the ball and moving her over to third base so Peyton could I told Peyton just hit it as hard as he can, and she got a deep fly ball to center field that scored Zoe. And speaking of Peyton, the fact that she was able to limit a pretty good hitting our
6 regular season games to go for the Atlantic softball team, and coming off a win on the road over Bishop Heelan last night, 1-0. We're joined by Atlantic head coach Terry Hinsman. They continue to face tough competition. ADM in town here tonight, Trainer tomorrow night. And Coach, let's talk about this week. And I know we talk about it a lot, and you want to get your players against some tough pitchers and some tough competition, and you've knocked off a lot of those tough opponents. One of those last night against Bishop Heelan with a run in the top of the 7th inning. Really a great defensive battle, good pitching, and a timely hit there late in the game. Talk about that win over Bishop last night.
Yeah, that's a big win for us, Tom, especially at this point in the season, and the fact that the game came down to a 0-0 tie going into the 7th inning. Zoe Kirchhoff did a great job of getting on base with the base hit, stealing second base, and Dylan Ball getting the bat on the ball and moving her over to third base so Peyton could I told Peyton just hit it as hard as he can, and she got a deep fly ball to center field that scored Zoe. And speaking of Peyton, the fact that she was able to limit a pretty good hitting team to just 3 hits, that was a credit to her in the circle too. So, the other thing was our defensive play, and I know at the beginning of the season it was a little questionable from time to time, but the 3 girls out there have really picked it up, especially McKenna Schrader in center field. I think she had 5 putouts, and at least 3 of them were over her head up against the fence. So defense has come on and played extremely well here in the latter part of the season.
Coach, McKenna Sontag, another double as she is elevating. We talked to her over the weekend as well. Talk about your senior here who will be honored tomorrow night at the trainer game, but You got to give. She's been improving her batting average all year long. What can you say about her?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just she's been more patient and more disciplined at the plate. We talked about that, moving her into the number 2 position, some of the things that she was going to have to do versus batting down in the order where she had been before. Some of that had to do with getting the ball in play, cutting down on the strikeouts, staying off pitches that, they might be strikes, but they're just not pitches that she's going to be able to put in play effectively. So she's done a great job as far as staying off of those pitches. She also has the ability to put a bunt down, so she becomes a really, and she's got a little bit of speed, so she becomes a really good number 2 hitter for us, right after McKenna Schrader, who is getting on base about a little less than 50% of the time, and then just before Lila, who can obviously put the ball in play too and score some runs. So, she's done a great job in the 2 spot for us.
And the team, you're hitting .351 now. That average just keeps creeping up too. Offense getting better as well.
Yeah, and I think, again, that's kind of goes back to just the approach that the girls have had at the plate. You don't have to look much further than tonight's game and how they want to improve in what they're doing at the plate. They were the questions last night after the game was over was whether Lauren Hagedorn was going to pitch against us. Obviously, I don't know what ADM's plans are, what their starting lineup's going to look at this point. But, I think maybe at the beginning of the season, certainly last year, they were hoping maybe not to see a team's best pitcher or the state's best pitcher. Now all of a sudden they want to take on that challenge, and they're hoping she pitches tonight. But even if she does not, I see ADM has some pretty good pitchers in Pitlick, the sophomore, and Odoff, the freshman.
Pitlick 1.91, Otoff 2.91 ERAs, but Lauren Hagedorn, the junior, with an ERA of .35, pretty salty, 7-0 in 39 innings pitched. Pitlick has actually doubled. I mean, she's pitched 73 innings, and Otoff has pitched 45. So we'll see how that plays out here in just a little bit. Well, Coach, what else about ADM? I know they're hitting about .342, so they're hitting well. What else about this team that maybe impresses you?
Well, I think you can expect to see them at Fort Dodge and playing in the state tournament and fighting for a state championship. Obviously, you just mentioned their pitching and their hitting. Both of those areas of the game for them are very, very well. They're very well coached. They don't make mistakes. They aren't going to be able to bank on them making errors, and they run the bases well. So it's one of those games that we, when I contacted ADM in January, that we wanted to get on the schedule at this point in time in the season, because it, I think, sharpens us up a little bit. Good teams always expose your weaknesses very quickly, and we're going to get an opportunity to face some of the best hitters and some of the best pitchers in all of 4A. So you can't find a much better team than that. So it's going to be a challenge for us. We know that. But like I said earlier, I think the girls are ready to accept that challenge, and we'll see how things play themselves out as the course of the game goes on.
Well, Coach, best of luck tonight. It's a great product. 22 wins here on the season as you hit into the final 6 games. One of those tonight here at ADM. Best of luck, Coach. We'll talk to you afterwards.
Hey, thanks, Tom. We'll see you then.
You bet. We're back with the starters for pregame opening pitch right here on 95.7 FM and our live video stream, westerniowatoday.com TV.
At 2nd Street Auto, it's our mission to get you back on the road fast. And it all starts with free local towing. Once you're back at the shop, we talk you through your car repair with a free and fair estimate. We do everything in-house so you know who's working on your car. Our Hercules tires come with free road hazard repair, free rotation for the life of the tires, and a free alignment check. And nobody can beat our transmission rebuild and repair experts. Brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, preventative maintenance, and service work make 2nd Street your first stop.
Cass Health in Atlantic, Iowa is a nationally recognized hospital, and we are proud of the awards and all of our recent accomplishments. But do you know what drives us to be the very best? You. We're passionate about helping our patients heal and feel their very best at any age, and any stage of life. Cass Health. Neighbors caring for neighbors.
At Outfitters Plus in Atlantic, you'll find all the latest in custom apparel and headwear. Head to Outfitters and work with the design pros to make your customized tees, team apparel, and personalized swag for your business a reality. Whether it's fan apparel for your high school or youth sports teams, your business, or you just want to make something your own, you'll have everyone saying, "Where'd you get that?" Don't forget, Outfitters will also add your group store online to make ordering a breeze. Get personalized at Outfitters Plus Outlet Store in Atlantic. Stop by today.
Welcome back to Atlantic as the Trojans warming up and getting ready for this one tonight at Atlantic at 8 a.m. at a non-conference softball game. Tomorrow night it's going to be Atlantic hosting Trainer, and then they'll finish off the regular season with a Sioux City East doubleheader back here in Atlantic next Tuesday. And we'll have the broadcast tomorrow night with a Panorama Atlantic baseball game right here at the Trojan Field.
But don't forget about Thursday.
Thursday is going to be doubleheader.
Yep.
St. Thank you,
Albert,
Roger
yep.
Warren. It starts at 9 a.m., I believe.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, okay.
Yeah, 'cause the boys played this morning at 10 and 12.
And they split. They beat St. Albert the first game, and the Falcons beat Atlantic in the nightcap. Trojans play Panorama tomorrow night, and we'll have that broadcast over the baseball diamond Trainer in town for another really good game for the Trojans. Regionals coming up next week. As Roger mentioned earlier, Thursday, a week from Thursday, Atlantic will host Harlan. And if Atlantic should be fortunate to win that game, they'll take on possibly Clarinda.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. And Trojans are the number 2 seed. The number 1 seed is Albee out east. And they are 19-0 when they had the regionals come out. Unblemished. I haven't looked at that as of late. But Albee are the favorite in that bracket, but don't count anybody out, and especially the Trojans are playing really well right now.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, they've improved the entire season, and I've been fortunate to watch a heck of a lot of the ball games, and just every game they get a little better. Get a little more confidence. I mean, you got Albia coming in, if you can get that point, and you're going to have to be playing your best softball to make that happen, because you don't get to be 19-0 at this point in time in the season without being pretty darn good.
No
but
doubt.
Tonight's going to be a telltale. They got a hell of a pitcher at ADM, and they do a lot of things well, and you're probably going to see them at Fort Dodge and competing for a state championship. And if you can play well and get these guys, that gives you the confidence to pretty much take on anybody. I mean, these guys got Creston and earlier in the season, so it's just how you going to play it.
How you going to play it is right, and the Panthers in the Hawkeye 10 leading with an 18-0 record. Atlantic second at 14-3, tied with Clarinda. They're 10-3 in the conference, and then Lewis Central 15-5. But Atlantic has that doubleheader with St. Albert, and that's going to be all she wrote for the Hawkeye 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Another year where Atlantic finishes in the top tier of the conference. And we look at the Raccoon River Conference, and this is the ADM's league here, and what a league it is. North Polk at 25-4. Atlantic played North Polk.
Yes,
they
did.
faced a tremendous pitcher.
Yep.
They're 11-1 in the conference. Carlisle 8-4. ADM is second at 11-3. Bondurant Farrar 8-3. Atlantic beat Bondurant Farrar at Creston in that tournament.
Yep.
So the Trojans certainly could compete in that Raccoon River, but North Polk 25-4, ADM 22-5, and Carlisle 23-8. Those are the top teams in that conference. Winterset, Bondurant Farrar 19-7. And then it goes on and on.
There's a lot of good teams in there.
A lot of good teams in that conference, and again, Creston 26-6 on the year. Atlantic 22-11. Lewis Central 26-8. Clarinda 20-9. Atlantic has beat them twice. If they get by Harlan, they'll have to play them probably again if they win their first as well. Then you've got the rest of the teams: Glenwood 13-17, Kemper 10-17, Denison Schleswig 8-14, Shenandoah 8-16. Harlan 6-19, although Harlan's playing pretty well right now.
I mean, you got to show up to play every game.
Yes.
So
last night, the Hawkeye 10 Conference softball, it was Clarinda over Lewis Central 7-2. A big win there for the Cardinals against a good team. But then Lewis Central came back to beat Clarinda in the nightcap 6-3. So they split. Glenwood over Kemper 10-1, and then they beat in the nightcap 4-2. Shenandoah and Denison Slesvig split last night. The Phillies won 2-1 in game 1, and the Monarchs came back in the second game, the nightcap, and won 2-1. Creston beat St. Albert 15-2. Harlan took a pair from Red Oak 19-6 and 20-3. Harlan, you know, they're playing pretty well.
Yeah, they are. Well, you know, if you're going to go very far in the tournament, you got to be playing your best ball. So you got to take all comers.
No doubt. We're back with more pregame of the starters, but first, this 2-minute timeout on 95.7 FM and our live video stream, WesternIowaToday.com, TV, YouTube. It's all powered by Nishnanet. They are technically awesome.
Looking for the ultimate place to host your party? It's time to roll into the Super Bowl on Highway 71 in Atlantic, the place to celebrate birthdays, family nights, or even date nights. Glow Bowling lights up your Friday and Saturday nights. We've got bumpers and ramps for the kiddos, and plenty of lanes for the grown-ups' bragging rights. Whether you're here to compete or just kick back and relax, the Super Bowl is where memories are made. Call Dan at 243-4656 to book your party today. The Super Bowl in Atlantic. Let the good times roll.
Gas prices got you down? Need a ride to work or the grocery store? There's public transportation for everyone in Southwest Iowa. SWITA offers taxi service in Atlantic, Glenwood, Harlan, Missouri Valley, Red Oak, and Shenandoah. $2.50 each way or $2 for seniors 60 years and older. Just call 1-800-842-8065 or visit swita.com to schedule your ride.
Robinson with Roger Warren and Bryce Smith, the PA man, barking out the starting lineups here tonight.
He barks them.
Yeah, he gets after it, man.
Yes, he does.
The starters look like this for the Tigers. They'll lead off with Elliot Von Roden, the second base person, batting second, and Lauren Hagedorn. She'll be pitching for the Tigers, and she has an ERA of .3 and some change. Kenzie Maxwell will bat third, and she'll be the catcher. Batting fourth, Maddie James, the left fielder. Batting fifth, the DP, Kennedy Stanford. Batting sixth will be McKenna Pitlick. She'll be at first base. Aubrey Norring will bat seventh. She'll play third. Batting in the eighth spot and playing shortstop is Ella Smith, and batting ninth, Addison Tulare. Tulare, she'll be out in center field. Your starters for the Tigers from ADM, and Lindsay Stanford is their head coach. Atlantic head coach is Terry Hensman, assisted by Molly O'Hara and Derek Handel. Atlantic will lead off with McKenna Schrader, the center fielder. Batting second will be McKenna Sontag. She'll play second. Lila Wiederstein batting third, the DP. And batting fourth is Zoe Kirchhoff. She'll pitch for the Trojans tonight. Batting fifth, Dylan Ball, the right fielder. And batting sixth will be Claire Schroeder at third. Batting seventh will be Peyton McLaren, the shortstop. And batting eighth will be Jillian Satoff. She's at first. And batting ninth, the catcher for the Trojans, Avery Knuth. Avery's done a nice job behind the plate for Atlantic. Madison McLaren playing out in left field will be hit for by the DP, Lila Wiederstein. We're going to take a timeout. So we're back in 2 minutes, getting close to the opening pitch here in Atlantic.
In the circle. And we just want to get everybody to know that
Stein delivers more new genetics faster. Our focus on delivering higher yielding genetics faster than the competition is why we have released more new Enlist E3 lines in the past 5 years than any other seed company. For elite genetics paired with simple, flexible, and effective weed control, plant Stein Enlist E3 soybeans. Stein has yield. 45 years of yield. Learn more at steinseed.com.
Get ready for a fresh start at Greg Young Atlantic. Our Greg Young Fresh Start program helps you hit the road with confidence, overcome credit challenges with personalized financing, and a wide selection of great vehicles. Visit us today to find your brand new Chevy, GMC, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram, or check out our huge pre-owned selection at GregYoungAtlantic.com and GregYoungCDJRAtlantic.com. And to apply. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Here at Greg Young, we go the extra mile for you.
mouth-watering deal from Olson's BP, your keep-you-going store. Grab any delicious large pizza hot and ready, and you can add a big, tasty dessert streusel for an extra $6.99. That's the perfect sweet finish, only for the month of July. Olson's BP. Fuel your day, fuel your cravings. Get your pizza and streusel today.
Welcome back to Atlantic, getting set for the opening pitch here at Trojan Field. The freshman game won by ADM, a JV game won by the Tigers. So they took the first two, and now they get set for the varsity competition here tonight at Atlantic. Again, the baseball today, busy place today. St. Albert's, the Atlantic baseball team, they split in a doubleheader. Atlantic won the first, and the Falcons won the second. Atlantic will face Panorama in a non-conference game tomorrow night. We'll have that broadcast. Pregame at 6:45. That first pitch at 7 o'clock right here on 95.7 FM and our live video stream, WesternIowaToday.com. Zoe Kirchhoff in the circle. Roger Moore, talk about Zoe's stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, she's steadily improved. I mean, one of the things that I know Coach talks to her about is limiting the free passes. Make the batter hit the ball, let your defense help you. And, our defense has been pretty solid here lately, and just let them help you. But don't give them any free passes. You don't want to put anybody on, because then that changes a different dynamic. And it just, between her and Peyton, I got a sneaking suspicion you're going to see both of them tonight. Just from the simple fact that she's going to go for, depending on how the game goes. If it stays close, Zoe's going to stay there. But if they start getting put a couple of runs across and it's a 2-run advantage, I think you probably see Peyton, just because, that's a good way to, change it up.
Zoe 8-6 coming in, ERA of 3.32. 82 innings pitched so far for Zoe. The junior allowed 60 runs and 91 hits, 27 walks, 1 hit batter, and she has struck out 60 hitters so far this season. Elliot Von Roden will be leading off.
Ellie Van Roden.
So Von Roden will lead it off as second baseman, Lauren Hagedorn, and then Kenzie Maxwell will bat as Von Roden is a left-handed hitter for the Tigers. Just getting underway, Atlantic and ADM here in Atlantic. ADM in the red uniforms, as you can see if you're watching. If you're listening, they're red with black trim. Fastball high, and a ball for Zoe Kirchhoff to lead off here this softball game. So Von Roden to the plate, Lauren Hagedorn, and then Kenzie Maxwell here in the top of the first inning. Kirchhoff looks in, and she'll wheel and deal the 1-0. That's a strike called. The count is even at 1-1, Roger Ward.
Well, it's a good way to get started. Look like you got a slap hitter up here. Looks like they, that's why they scout teams. Ready to go.
Von Roden, the freshman, hitting .257. Here's the 1-1 pitch coming in, swung on, a high fly ball left field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Von Roden will head to second base, and she'll get a single, an extra base as that ball bounced away from Madison McLaren out and left. It's a clean hit. And the Tigers have a runner at second.
I think Madison was just a little bit hesitant on where that was going to get up and thought it was a little deeper.
Well, it was a bloop single.
It was a bloop single. There's no doubt about that.
Lauren Hagedorn, the batter for ADM, and we're at second base. Nobody down, top of the first. Hagedorn hitting .393 on the year. Here's the pitch by Kirchhoff, low and away, and the count is 1-0. Hagedorn, a right-handed hitter. A junior for the Tigers. So far this season, she is a 33 of 27. Here's the 1-0 pitch coming in. That just missed low and away. And the count is 2-0 to Hagedorn. And then Kinsey Maxwell on deck for the Tigers here in the top of the first. Leadoff hitter aboard. That's Elliott Von Roden. She's at first base. Here's the 2-0 pitch coming in. And it is a hot shot in the hole, left field base hit. Von Roden rounds third, and she'll score easily for the Tigers. And ADM is up 1-0, and on to second base goes Hagedorn with a single and an RBI, and advanced on the throw. And ADM up 1-0, Roger Warren.
Yeah,
Next batter for the Tigers, number 10.
Kind of hoping she was going to go to second base because you weren't going to get her at home. And that's where, one of the things is you got to keep that runner in out of scoring position.
Well, Maxwell will step in, and Kinsey Maxwell, the catcher. ADM up 1-0 on the top of the first inning with nobody down. Maxwell, another left-handed batter for the Tigers. Here's the pitch low and away for a ball. Oh, check that. That's a strike. 0-1 to count.
You got to get tuned in for the night, right?
Yeah, that's. I think we got. So we might have got one there.
Yeah.
0-1 to count. Runner at second base. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on a deep fly ball, right center, back, and that is gone. ADM jumps out to a 3-0 lead.
Scoring 2.
Kinsey Maxwell with a home run.
Kinsey Maxwell.
And she pulled the ball, a 2-run homer. And the Tigers are out in front, 3-0 with nobody down. Here at the top of the first, Von Roden scores. Hagedorn singled in a run, and now Maxwell with a 2-run homer. Roger Warren, they're off to a great start. Maddie James will step in.
Yeah, I don't think there was any doubt about when she took the swing on that one. I said, that's not going to land inside the park.
You called it right when it hit the bat. Yeah, Maxwell, a 476 hitter, and she just blasts her third home run of the season over the right center field fence from the left side of the plate. Fourth batter of the lineup, Maddie James will stand in, the left fielder. 1-0 the count. We're in the top of the first inning, and ADM has jumped out to a 1-0 lead here early. Zoe Kirchhoff in the circle. Here's the 1-0. That's a ball outside, 2-0 the count. Fourth hitter lineup, Maddie James, the left fielder. Maddie in the season hitting .302, 14 RBI for the senior outfielder. 2-0 the count, nobody on. Nobody out in 3 in. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled straight back. Count is 2-1. ADM ranked 4th in Class 4A. Atlantic ranked 12th in Class 3A. Kirchhoff, a junior, steps behind the circle. James will stand back in for the Tigers. Coach Stan Bourne. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way. Change up. Miss low. The count is 3-1. I tell you what, Zoe's got a great change.
Yep.
She really does. And we've seen her fool and buck a lot of batters here in the past several years. 3 balls and a strike to count to James. Here's the pitch on the way. That's a strike call. The count goes full to 3-2. Maddie James is 26 of 86 on the year, hitting .368. 17 singles, 5 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs. She's got some power. Here's a 3-2 pitch coming in. Swung on, hit up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. 4 straight hits for ADM to start the top of the first inning.
The base hit to right
Von
center
Roden
for James.
led this off with a single.
Next at bat,
Lauren Hagedorn had an RBI single. And then Kinsey Maxwell, a 2-run homer.
Stanford.
And now Maddie James keeps the string alive with a single to right center, and the Tigers have 1 on, nobody down, and 3 in, and Kendi Stanford will stand in, the DP for the Tigers. Stanford, the 5th hitter in the lineup, another lefty. There's a pop-up down the third base line. Comes Schroeder, makes the catch. Great job by Schroeder. Made the grab right by the third base dugout, and a key out for the Trojans.
Key out, yeah.
From third base.
Tried to get her at 1, and kind of hesitant on that throw, but it's good to get that first one under your belt.
Good play by Schroeder. She came racing. Had a good jump on that pop-up.
Yep.
It didn't have a lot of air underneath it, and she's able to catch it just in front of the third base dugout. Here's McKenna Pitlick The 6-hitter in the lineup, 1 on, 1 out, 3 in. Top of the first, that pitch is low and away. 3-0 ADM. Von Roden scored, Hagedorn singled, and then Maxwell a 2-run homer. Maddie James had the 4th straight hit. She's at first. Stanford popped up, and Pitlick the batter, the first base person for ADM. And the 1-0 pitch on the way to Pitlick, a swing and a foul ball. Count is 1-1. Aubrey Noring is on deck for the Tigers. Defensively for Atlantic, Madison McLaren in left. Schrader in center, Dylan Ball in right. Claire Schroeder made that nice play at third. Peyton McLaren at short. McKenna Sontag at second. Jill Satoff at first. That changeup.
There, that should have been a strike.
Ball. Beautiful pitch by Zoe. Just dropped right in there. The count is 1-2 and working ahead of Pitlick. Kirchhoff and Knuth, the battery for Atlantic.
Yeah, I'm not sure about our umpire. He takes a long time to show that single.
You're going to hold me back.
Yeah, I know it.
1-2 pitch, says a half swing. Did she go? He's going to ask for help, and no.
No, I don't think she did.
Yeah, 2-2 the count. Pitlick thought about it, but was able to hold back.
Well, technically, I don't think he can, with him in that position, you can only ask for when he's down the first baseline.
Good point. 2-2 the count with a runner at first. That's Maddie James. Pitlick, the batter, with 1 out, 3 in for ADM. We're the top of the first. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul ball. Maddie James left to trot back to first. Had a good jump with the pitch. Aubrey Noring on deck for ADM. And Noring hitting .345. The team is hitting .342 in the year. They have a .402 on-base percentage. Not too shabby. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Pitlick. Pop up, second base. Sontag is there to make the easy catch. 2 straight outs after 4 straight hits. And that'll bring up Aubrey Noring. 3-0 ADM. We're the top of the first. Aubrey Noring, the third base person, will step in. Noring hitting .345. This team is just everybody about above 300.
Well, when you said on-base percentage of 40%, 4 out of 10, that ain't bad.
Three nothing. Top of the first. Batter is Aubrey Noring, the third base person. First pitch is strike to her, 0-1. Maddie James at first base. The 0-1 pitch is coming in. Swung on, a blooper to right. In comes Dylan Ball. Makes a running catch towards the infield.
She got a great jump on that.
Right field, Dylan Ball.
She got a great jump on that one.
She really did. And after the 4 straight hits, including a loud one, a 2-run homer, Zoe Kirchhoff settles in. The defense behind her and retires 3 straight. But not before. ADM scores 3 runs on 4 hits. No errors, and they left 1. Atlantic coming to bat in the bottom half of the first inning. We're back right after these.
At Oak Point Wealth Management, we believe your financial plan should reflect what matters most to you. Whether you're preparing for retirement, managing your assets, or facing life's next big decision, our experienced team will help you create a strategy aligned with your goals and values. With offices in Atlanta, Harlan, and Shenandoah, we offer clear, personalized guidance designed to help you stay on track no matter what life brings. Call Aaron Friend or Mick Allen at 712-207-3521 or visit oakpointwealth.com to start planning your financial future today.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Great Valley Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. Great Valley Advisor Group and Oak Point Wealth Management are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Atlantic Egg and Auto, your locally owned CarQuest Auto Parts store, is seeking help to fill a part-time or possibly full-time position. While experience in retail parts is preferred, it is not a deal breaker. The ideal candidate should have entry-level computer skills and be comfortable working with the public and having some fun while doing it. If you have excellent customer service skills, a valid driver's license, and a history of reliability, we would like to hear from you. Atlantic Egg and Auto is an equal opportunity employer located at 716 West 7th Street here in Atlantic.
Tigers take the field. They scored 3 runs in the top half of this frame, and it's Lauren Hagedorn, the junior, throwing.
I hate to correct you, but I think with the 3-run lead, they're going to save her because I got number 12.
Oh, okay.
Atlantic, the leadoff hitter,
Pitlick.
Schrader.
They had Hagedorn starting.
They did.
And they've switched on us. Thank you for picking that up,
Roger. I was watching that because I noticed when she was warming up, she was throwing to first base. So Hagedorn's on third, and then
Pitlick will throw.
Pitlick will throw.
Pitlick is 10-3 of the year, 1.91 ERA, not too shabby for her.
Oh, no, yeah, and maybe it depends on what they've got here in the next couple of days.
Here's the pitch. There's a line drive up the middle, base hit for the Trojans. Atlantic gets a runner on. The leadoff hitter aboard, Schrader, here in the bottom half of the first inning.
Did not wait. Threw a strike and she hit it hard.
Yeah, they went right at it.
Yep.
You know, it's interesting. Coach Hensman likes patience at the plate, but what a hit right up the middle by Schrader, on that first pitch, on that first pitch. He's a 389 hitter. So Pitlick is in the circle instead of Hagedorn, and that was quite the switch here early.
Well, I think that 3-0 lead made a difference.
Yeah, exactly. And that doesn't mean we're not going to see her, but
correct.
Pitlick in the circle. Here's the pitch. Bunt showed, strike called. 0-2 the count to McKenna Sontag, the senior second baseman. One on and nobody down for Atlantic with the bottom of the first inning. ADM up 3-0. Pitlick in the circle for the Tigers. Here's the pitch, but a beauty. Down the third base line, the throw to first. They're going to get Sontag, but she does her job and gets Schrader on to second base with a sac bunt. Yeah, nice job by Sontag.
Sac bunt by Sontag.
Almost got there.
On first, second base.
He couldn't have laid that down any perfect.
No, I mean, it kind of died.
Next up.
Kind of wish it maybe it went down the first base line, but she would have had a chance of getting it, beating it out.
It made a tough throw for Maxwell.
Oh, absolutely.
When you're looking at Sontag's back racing down first. Runner at second, one out. 3-0 ADM. Here's the bat of the Trojans. McKenna Sontag with a bunt, and now Lila Wiederstein at the plate for the Trojans. Schrader at second base. Wiederstein, what a season she's having at the plate for Atlantic. The DP tonight, batting .524. Looks at a pitch high. Atlantic had 5 hits last night in the road trip to Heelan, and that was enough. They just needed
that one run.
Wiederstein was held hitless last night, which is somewhat unusual. She fouls that one off. We're in the bottom of the first inning.
She actually played catcher the last 2 innings.
Yeah.
I don't know if last night, but I know when I was watching up at Dowling, she was playing catcher for the last half of the
1-2 pitch swung on and missed, and a strikeout for Pitlick, a key strikeout for the Tigers. With Sontag or with Schrader at second base and 2 down. Here's Kirchhoff.
Next batter for the Trojans.
3-0 ADM. We're in the bottom half of the first inning.
Kirchhoff.
So a quick switch at the circle. McKenna Pitlick, 1.91 ERA. And on the season, 53 strikeouts. She's 10-3, 73 innings pitched, which is the majority. When you look at the 3 pitchers, Chloe Olthoff is 1, and then Hagedorn and Pitlick. Also, Vandenoord is also thrown some as well. 1-0 the count, the pitch. Swung on, a pop-up. That's going to be an easy play down in center field, caught by Talari. And that'll be it for the Trojans. They left one as Kirchhoff flies out to center. Atlantic, no runs. They got a hit. No errors, and they left one. We're through 1 inning. ADM with a 3-0 lead. We're back right after this at 95 points.
Gas prices got you down? Need a ride to work or the grocery store? There's public transportation for everyone in Southwest Iowa. SWITA offers taxi service in Atlantic, Glenwood, Harlan, Missouri Valley, Red Oak, and Shenandoah. $2.50 each way or $2 for seniors 60 years and older. Just call 1-800-842-8065 or visit swita.com to schedule your ride.
Stein delivers more new genetics faster. Our focus on delivering higher yielding genetics faster than the competition is why we have released more new Enlist E3 lines in the past 5 years than any other seed company. For elite genetics paired with simple, flexible, and effective weed control, plant Stein Enlist E3 soybeans. Stein has yield. 45 years of yield. Learn more at steinseed.com.
Welcome back to Atlantic as we head to the top of the second inning.
Number 16, Ellis Smith.
We're leading off for the Tigers, Ellis Smith, the 8th in the lineup, then Aniston Talari, and back to the top of the order. ADM jumped out on the Trojans in the top of the first with 2 straight singles, then a 2-run homer, and Matty James a single. The first 4 got on base. The first 3 scored. 3-0. Here's the pitch coming in. Change-up's a strike, and the count is 0-1 to Ellis Smith, the shortstop for ADM. Talari is the 9th hitter, and then back to Von Roden at the top of the order. 3-0 ADM here in the top of the second. Here's the pitch coming. High for a ball. The count is 1-1. Ellis Smith hitting .323 of the year. Smith 12 RBI. 21 of 65 at the plate. Kirchhoff brings the 1-1 offering. Change-up is low. Count is 2-1. Kirchhoff and Peyton McLaren have been doing the pitching duties for Atlantic this season. Brent Lapp is getting a start here and there for the Trojans. He pitched in the JV game. 2-1 pitch coming. That's outside. 3-1 the count. Kirchhoff allowed the first 3 runs, and then she settled in and forced 2 pop-ups back-to-back and a fly out to right. Dylan Ball made a nice catch coming in for the Trojans. Here's a 3-1. That's ball 4. Ellis Smith draws the walk.
Smith will draw the walk.
And Aniston Talari will stand in for ADM.
Center fielder, Aniston Talari.
Talari is batting .355 and the 9th hitter in the Tiger lineup. ADM up 3-0 with the top of the second. 1 on and nobody down. Here's the pitch, a bunt, a comebacker. Kirchhoff has it, fires the first for the out, but the sacrifice is made. Ellis Smith legs it down to second base.
Bunt by Talari.
And Talari is thrown out of the sacrifice.
Headed back to the top of the
One
order.
out for ADM at the top of the second.
Roden, the second baseman.
Elliot Von Roden will stand in. Singled her last time up and scored on Hagedorn's RBI single. 3-0 ADM. We're in the top of the second. 1 on and 1 out, and Von Roden will step in. Left-handed hitter for ADM, hitting .257 coming in. Here's the pitch to Von Roden. That's low and away. The count is 1-0.
I'll tell you, they just got to get the outs when they get a chance on it.
And the outfield really playing in.
Yeah, I mean, well, she's already showed that she's just a slap hitter.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's low for a ball. 2-0. There goes the runner. Nobody covering at third. As Smith steals third literally. And the the thing is we were playing in on that, and
you got to pay attention. There's a lot of things to think about.
2-0 the count to Von Roden. Hagedorn on deck. We're in the top of the second. ADM with a 3-0 lead. The count is 2-0 to Von Roden, a slap hitter, and they play her shallow. Satov is playing deep at first. Here's the pitch. That's a strike called. 2-1. Satov is playing normal position at first because she's a left-handed hitter.
Right.
Otherwise, Schroeder's in at third base. Bay McLaren playing shallow at short. The outfield is playing way in on this slap hitter. 2-1 the count with 1 on and 1 out. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. Count goes to 3-1. Ellis Smith is at third base after the walk, a sack, and stolen base. On deck is Lauren Hagedorn, who had the RBI single to get things going, that merry-go-round going for the Tigers in the first. Here's Kirchhoff looking in. Their catcher's Kinsey Max or Knuth. Here's the pitch and a bunt shown. A strike called, missed it, 3-2. Knuth, the catcher for Atlantic. Schroeder at third. McLaren at short. McKenna Sontag at second. Jillian Satov at first. Here's the 3-2 pitch on the way to Von Roden. Swung on a tapper to short. Gobbled up by McLaren. Fires the first for the outrun, scores. So Smith with the walk, sack, stolen base, scores on Von Roden's ground ball. And that'll bring up Lauren Hagedorn with nobody on, 2 down and 1 in. 4-0 ADM. You're at the top of the second inning.
That was the right place to take that because, you take a chance on making a good throw and getting a tag. You better get the out and take your lumps with the run.
Here's the pitch on the way to Hagedorn. It is outside for a ball. The count is 1-0. Hagedorn, a right-handed hitter. Picked up her 21st single of the year her last time up. 6 doubles, 7 home runs, 36 RBI. That leads the team. Here's a 1-0. Way outside. 2-0 the count. Kirchhoff's doing the right thing, trying to hit the corners, Roger.
Well,
you
yeah,
don't want to throw it down the middle.
You said this gal obviously can play softball. She's got 7 home runs.
Yeah, she pitches. She plays the hot corner.
Yep.
2-0 pitch. That's a strike. Nice pitch by Kirchhoff. Just painted the outside edge. Now the count is 2-1 with 2 down here at the top of the second. 4-0 ADM with the lead. Von Roden scored. Hagedorn scored. Maxwell scored. And Smith. Hagedorn trying to keep it going with 2 down. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back. And that'll even up the count at 2-2. 7 home runs. And that leads the team. ADM has 20 home runs on the year.
That's a bunch.
That's a bunch. Hagedorn with 7. Maddie James has 3. Maxwell hit her 3rd here in the first inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Just missed outside.
That was the place to put it.
He was. Just missed outside at 3-2. And again, she's got to pitch around Hagedorn because she can belt the ball. There's no doubt about it. Hagedorn, a slugging percentage of .714. She's got the power. Here's a 3-2 pitch with 2 down. Swung on a little line drive to second baseman McKenna Sontag.
Sontag with
she gloves it at second, and that'll be it for the Tigers.
We're headed to the bottom of the second.
They get a run on no hits and no errors, and they left no one. We're through 1.5, and the Tigers lead the Trojans 4-0.
Get ready for a fresh start at Greg Young Atlantic. Our Greg Young Fresh Start program helps you hit the road with confidence, overcome credit challenges with personalized financing, and a wide selection of great vehicles. Visit us today to find your brand new Chevy, GMC, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram. Or check out our huge pre-owned selection at GregYoungAtlantic.com and GregYoungCDJRAtlantic.com. And to apply. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Here at Greg Young, we go the extra mile for you.
At Oak Point Wealth Management, we believe your financial plan should reflect what matters most to you. Whether you're preparing for retirement, managing your assets, or facing life's next big decision, our experienced team will help you create a strategy aligned with your goals and values. With offices in Atlanta, Harlan, and Shenandoah, we offer clear, personalized guidance designed to help you stay on track no matter what life brings. Call Aaron Friend or Mick Allen at 712-207-3521 or visit oakpointwealth.com to start planning your financial future today.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Great Valley Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. Great Valley Advisor Group and Oak Point Wealth Management are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Welcome back to Atlantic. We go the bottom half of the second inning. 4-0 ADM. Dylan Ball at the plate for the Trojans. Pitlick's first pitch is low and in for a ball. Dylan, the 5th hitter in the Atlantic lineup. And then Schroeder, then Peyton McLaren. Bottom half of the second. Atlantic needs some runs. Down 4-0. ADM scored a
string a few hits together.
Absolutely. Dylan Ball at the plate. Here's the pitch. Swung on a tapper towards third. Out fouled ball. 1-1 the count to Dylan Ball. Dylan's been a pretty steady player for the Trojans this year.
Well, she's made contact with the ball most of the year. Let's put it that way.
She'll go back to the plate. And she showed promise last year as an 8th grader. She had some action.
Yep.
Hitting .404 on the year. That's one of the top averages. 1-1 the count to Dylan Ball. Just a freshman outfielder, right fielder for the Trojans. .404 average, on base percentage .472. Slugging .479. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way to Ball. Swung on, a pop-up, center field. Back goes Talari, makes the catch. That ball drifted into right center field, and Talari got a good jump on it.
I'll tell you what, she had a heck of a jump, and she
Next up to bat for the
beat it in on that one really
Schroeder.
well. So it's like there was no question she was going to fall under that one.
Claire Schroeder will stand in, the 6th hitter in the Trojan lineup. Nobody on, 1 out for Atlantic here in the bottom of the second. ADM with a 4-0 lead. Pitlick's pitch coming in. There's a pop-up, and Talari is there again in center field to make the catch. Atlantic attacking that first pitch on Pitlick. And now Peyton McLaren will step in for the
Trojans
Trojans.
with the snag in center field.
Nobody on and 2 down. 4-0 ADM. We're the bottom half of the second.
Number 15, Peyton McLaren.
McLaren will in about the middle of the batter's box for the Trojans. He's number 7th hitter for Atlantic. Here's the pitch. Gets away. Count 1-0 to Peyton McLaren, hitting .308 on the season, .360 on base percentage, .516 is slugging percentage for the sophomore infielder and pitcher. 1 home run for McLaren, 19 RBI. 1-0 pitch coming. There's a swing and a foul ball. Count is 1-1. What is about McLaren in this circle? I mean, last year she had below 2 ERA. This year she's below 2.
Well,
she doesn't have overpowering stuff. It's just
no, but it just keep him off balance. And
1-1 pitch. There's a line drive base hit. McLaren picks up the second hit for Atlantic here in the ball game. And Peyton is aboard at first base with 2 down here in the bottom of the second inning.
To center left.
Well, that's how you start it. Go with 2.
Next up, number 14, Jillian Satoff.
Jillian Satoff will step in for Atlantic. Rod-headed batter with 1 on and 2 down. Satoff hitting .250. ADM up 4-0. Bottom of second inning. Pitlick assigned the pitch. That's the ball low, and the count is 1-0. Satoff, number 8 in the lineup, hitting .250. At .315 on base percentage, .310 slugging. He's played first base all year long for Atlantic. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, and the count is 1-1 to Satoff. She started all 33 games for the Trojans. She's been at the plate 84 times so far this season. Here's a 1-1. Swing and a miss.
She took a little heat off of that one.
Yeah, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitlick with 1 strikeout of the first inning. Trojans have no runs and 2 hits. Runner at first is Peyton McLaren. Here's the 1-2 on the way. Satoff taps to third. Hagedorn grabs it and rifles to first base. And I mean, she's got an arm.
She'll throw it out at first base. Going into the third inning.
She has an arm.
She has an arm. We're through 2, and ADM with a 4-0 lead. We're back right after these.
Food, including chairs, chicken, and Godfather's Pizza.
Atlantic Ag and Auto, your locally owned CarQuest Auto Parts store, is seeking help to fill a part-time or possibly full-time position. While experience in retail parts is preferred, it is not a deal breaker. The ideal candidate should have entry-level computer skills and be comfortable working with the public and having some fun while doing it. If you have excellent customer service skills, a valid driver's license, and a history of reliability, we would like to hear from you. Atlantic Ag and Auto is an equal opportunity employer located at 716 West 7th Street here in Atlantic.
Hey there, this is Tanner from your Atlantic Hy-Vee, and I've got some exciting news to share. Thanks to your feedback, we're currently rated the friendliest Hy-Vee in the entire company. That's a huge honor, and on behalf of the whole team, thank you to everyone who's taken time to share their thoughts. Did you know you can leave feedback too? Just check the link on the bottom of your Hy-Vee receipt or in your email after a purchase. Whether it's a compliment or constructive criticism, I love reading our surveys and making sure we're always improving. And as always, thank you for shopping your Atlantic Hy-Vee.
Atlantic to go to the top of the third inning.
Got to change there, Tom.
Okay.
Lila's coming in to catch, and that's the only
defensive
defensive switch.
Thank you, Roger. So here we go. Kinsey Maxwell, Maddie James, and Kennedy Stanford to bat for ADM here in the top of the third. Tigers up 4-0 with 3 runs in the first, a run in the second. Here's the pitch by Kirchhoff. That's high and away. Count is 1-0 to Maxwell. She had that 2-run homer in the first inning. ADM had 4 straight hits, 2 straight singles. Hagedorn had RBI, and then Maxwell drove Hagedorn home, trotting with that home run. 1-0. Low and away. The count is 2-0. Maddie James had hit the 4th straight hit, but she was left stranded at first as Zoe settled out and forced out the 3 more after that. Pop up, a fly ball to right to end the inning. Maxwell, the left-hander. 2-0 the count. Here's the pitch on the way, and it is a change high and in. 3-0, and 1 walk given up by Zoe Kirchhoff so far.
Got to battle all the way back now.
Yep, so far in this early going. Maxwell stands in. 3-0 count. Probably taken all the way. No, she rips it. Base hit to right. Dylan Ball gobbles it up out of right field. 2 for 2 is Maxwell with a home
Maxwell
run.
first base.
And now a single. Maxwell
Brings
hitting
in the left field. There's a
476
senior,
coming
number
in.
7, Maddie James.
And she picked up her
Well, that doesn't surprise
41st
me.
hit of the season.
That doesn't surprise me. They gave her the green light because she's a good
First runner
hitter.
will be number 24,
You got a little
Peyton
cushion at
Herrick.
4-0, and there's no outs, so you don't have to be. You see a good pitch, you better be swinging at it.
5th hit for ADM in the ball game. We're the top of the 3rd, 4-0 Tigers. And the batter is Maddie James. We do have a runner at first. It's Peyton Herrick, freshman. She's going to run for Maxwell at first base. Nobody down for ADM here in the top of the 3rd. Zoe Kirchhoff wings it in. There's a drive to left. That's going to drift foul. Everybody go back to where you were before.
Well, that ought to be an indication out there with those fielders that go ahead and, she's going to get around on it.
No balls and a strike to James, who singled her last time up and was left at first base. Righty against righty here with Herrick the runner at first. 0-1 pitch outside. 1 ball and 1 strike that counts to Maddie James and Kennedy Stanford on deck. 4 and 5 yet to go with nobody down here at the top of the 3rd inning. Peyton Herrick, the runner at first base. Here's the 1-1 offering. Swung on a high fly ball, shallow left, and McClare, the shortstop, makes the grab just in front of the
That's a
green.
snag by McClare
behind
in the shortstop
third base
position.
person Claire Schroeder. 1 out.
Next batter for ADM.
Kenny Stanford
Kennedy
will stand
Stanford,
in.
the first baseman.
Stanford hitting .324 of the year. She has 1 home run, 16 RBI. Stanford, the 5th hitter in this Tiger lineup with Herrick, the runner at first, and 1 out. Lefty here as Zoe Kirchhoff brings the pitch. That's inside for ball. Nice gun down to 1. Wiederstein just couldn't help herself.
I know it.
She had to warm up that arm. She fired down to first.
I'll tell you what, I seen one at Dowling that the girl just shook her head. She got tagged out at second base.
I heard about that. 1-0 pitch. That's a strike. Count 1-1. Good location by Kirchhoff. You mean she picked her off?
Oh, I mean, it was like she was just walking back to the base and she let it fly and McKenna caught it and she was out.
She thought a missile was coming down that line. 1-1 the count with Herrick at first, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Change up high. 2 balls and a strike. The left-handed hitting Kennedy Stanford popped up to 3rd as Schroeder made a nice play in foul territory in front of the 3rd base dugout.
Well, it's tough to take it down first baseline when you got a left-handed hitter.
Doubt. Here's the 2-1. Chopper right back where it came from. Kirchhoff gloves it, fires to second base for 1 of the outs. Now there's 2 down, and Kirchhoff with good
play by
reaction.
the Trojans.
Able to get the comebacker. McLaren, the shortstop, covered at second. 1-6 at second. And a fielder's choice for Stanford. She stands at first base. And here comes Spitlick, the pitcher. Right-headed hitter. 1 on and 2 down. 4-0 ADM. We're the top of the 3rd. Zoe Kirchhoff is set to roll. Here's the pitch coming in. Tapper to 3rd. Gets through for a base hit. And on to second base goes
Runners on first and
Stanford.
second for the Tigers.
A single for Pitlick.
Pitlick
And
with the single
Tigers
brings
have
in the
2 on
3rd baseman,
and
number
2
17,
down here
Aubrey
at the top of the
Norrie.
3rd inning. Noring will step in. She flew to right her last time up. We do have a
Courtesy
runner.
runner is Carson Stanford.
Carson Stanford, the 8th grader, will run for ADM at first base. Runners at first and second with 2 down. 4-0. We're the top of the 3rd. Tigers scored 3 of the first, 1 of the second. Georgia's trying to get out of here unscathed in the 3rd inning. So here comes Noring, a right-handed hitter for ADM, the 3rd base person. Noring hitting .345 on the season. And Zoe Kirchhoff goes to work. She'll wing it in. That one's sliced foul right side.
No, she caught bounced off the pole.
That's off the pole, the first base dugout. 0-1 the count to Noring with Ella Smith on deck. Aubrey Noring, a right-handed hitter. Freshman hitting .345 as mentioned. 4 doubles on the year, 8 RBI. 2-1 and 2 down for ADM. Stanford at second. Here's the pitch. Boy, just missed outside.
Just missed it.
1-1. Close work by Zoe Kirchhoff. Runners at first and second base. Carson Stanford, the runner at first base. 1-1 the count with 2 down. Kirchhoff against Noring here. And the pitch on the way. Swung on a hot shot to short. Knocked down by McLaren. She'll rifle to first and get the out. And that'll be it for ADM. Nice job of McLaren.
Way to stay with it. Way to stay with it.
For ADM, they picked up a couple of hits. No runs on 2 hits. No errors. And they left a pair. It's 4-0 ADM after 2.5. Atlantic coming to bat in the bottom half of the third. We're back right after these.
Building wealth and neglecting their health, only to wish they could trade.
Hey there, this is Tanner from your Atlantic Hy-Vee, and I've got some exciting news to share. Thanks to your feedback, we're currently rated the friendliest Hy-Vee in the entire company. That's a huge honor, and on behalf of the whole team, thank you to everyone who's taken time to share their thoughts. Did you know you can leave feedback too? Just check the link on the bottom of your Hy-Vee receipt or in your email after a purchase. Whether it's a compliment or constructive criticism, I love reading our surveys and making sure we're always improving. And as always, thank you for shopping your Atlantic Hy-Vee.
When you're on the go, it's all about convenience. Add fantastic food, beverages, plus BP superior fuels, and you have Olson's BP in Atlantic. From sunup to sundown, we're the keep-you-going store. From our loaded breakfast burritos and Bunker Dunker donuts to our delicious Champs chicken and pizza to go, we have the food you crave. Don't forget the cold beer in the beer cave. Stop in and fill her up. There's always something you need at Olson's BP, the keep-you-going store, 2nd and Locust in Atlantic.
Will lead off for the Trojans. 4-0 ADM with the lead. Knuth, the 9th hit of the Trojan lineup. First look at Pitlick for her. Here's the pitch. Low for a ball to count 1-0 to Knuth. And then back up to the top of the order with Schrader and Sontag for Atlantic. Trojans and no runs on 2 hits. McLaren with a single and Schrader with a single. Pitlick looks in. And here's the 1-0 pitch. That's a strike, count 1-1. Pitlick with 1 strikeout, no walks, faced 8 batters, now 9 with Knuth here in the third. Atlantic did get a hit in that second inning. They got a hit to the first inning. They left a runner on in the first, added the second. Pitch is low for a ball, 2-1. Avery Knuth, the 9th hitter at the plate for the Trojans, trying to get things rolling here. Offensively, Avery hitting .385 of the year, not too shabby for her.
No, she came a long ways.
There's a tapper to third, scooped up by Hagedorn, and she fires to first base for the out. I mean, fires.
Yeah, there's some sting on that baby.
5-3. Well, she can throw overhand and underhand.
She's got center fielder, number 7, McKenna.
She's got like a .3 something ERA as well.
Right.
Top of the order, Schrader single to lead off the first inning, and then she was left stranded as Pitlick shot down Sontag, Wiederstein, and Kirchhoff. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. Strike zone, I would say, a little bit tight, maybe a little bit critical, possibly, but
we're a long ways from down there.
Well, I'm right there on the edge here.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a blooper to short, snag by Smith, and there's 2 up and 2 down.
Shortstop, that was Smith.
Yeah, she swung at the right pitch. She just couldn't get enough wood on
For
it.
Atlantic, McKenna Sontag.
Sontag will step in. Nobody on it. 2 down for Atlantic here in the third.
I think he'll let her stroke this one if she can.
Sontag hitting over 300. There's a tapper to third, and that's what headed for the hole. Sontag with a base hit. How do you can call that either way? But that was headed for
hard
the hole.
enough. Hey, I'm biased. Come on.
Well, I'm gonna knock
I gotta say it.
I thought that was gonna get in the hole. I think Hagedorn did a good job of stopping that.
You bet.
So 1 on for Atlantic
Back
with
up
2
for
down.
Atlantic. The catcher, number 36, Lila Wiederstein.
We need to check with our Atlantic scorekeeper over here and see what she did. Mrs. Darrow over
she's
here.
Listening.
Yeah, don't listen to us.
Yeah.
Mr. Smith, the PA man. Mrs. Darrow is our scorekeeper. They have a lot of fun up here, these guys. I'll tell you.
Bad.
One off for the Trojans. Here's the pitch. There's a tapper to short. Smith gloves it, fires, barely gets the out. Whoa! Ripping down the line was Wiederstein.
Wiederstein thrown out
and
first.
She was almost safe at first.
Fourth inning, the Tigers in the lead.
Hey, I think I'd give him the headphones. Seriously.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, before we go to break, I'll guarantee he thought, hey, this is an easy play. She's going to be out. He didn't realize how fast she was going.
Oh, man, she was rolling down the line.
That ball got there the same time her foot touched the bag.
Yeah. Totally agree with that. But Atlantic, no runs. They got a hit. No errors. And they left one. After 3, Tigers leading the Trojans 4-0. We're back right after these at 95.7 FM and our live video stream, westerniowatoday.com. Seem to be no one has time for a breakdown. So here's the key.
At Seed Pros, our mission is to be your business partner every day of every season.
Pioneer Hybrid International was founded in Iowa back in 1926 and is still American today. Not many other seed providers can make that claim.
We partner with you to continually push the limits by combining elite seed genetics, local infield knowledge, along with customer service second to none.
We are with you from the word go. Contact Mark Van Tiger, Gary Dinkla, Nick Knutson, or John Becker to partner with a team that puts your business needs first.
WesternIowaToday.com TV, YouTube, subscribe. It's powered by Nishnanet. They're technically awesome. Roger Warren is technically awesome as well.
Well, I learned it all from Scott. How's that sound?
It sounds, well, yeah.
Hey,
You're technically awesome, Junior.
If you want the internet, by God, go to him. He's taught me a lot.
You got it, Nishnanet. We thank them for our live video stream here tonight. 4-0. ADM, and they're at the plate in the 4th. Swing and a foul ball as we get started here with Ellis Smith, I believe, is the batter. We'll check that here. Get caught up. Yeah, it's Ellis Smith and then Edison Talari, and then top of the order. 8-9-1 for ADM. They lead 4-0. 4 runs and 6 hits. Atlantic no runs and 3. Kirchhoff's pitch, changeup. Low for a ball, 1-1 the count. Smith walked and scored a back in the 2nd inning.
They're not chasing that changeup,
No,
the short ones.
Good point. They're well aware of it, I think.
Yeah.
Well-coached team and well-disciplined team at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to Smith. Here's the pitch on the way. Another changeup high, 2-1 the count. Smith, the shortstop, then Talari, the center fielder. Talari had a couple of plays in that Trojan second. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Missed outside. Boy, close work. 3 balls and a strike. Here in the top of the 4th, 4-0 ADM. They scored 3 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd. Smith, the batter.
Got to battle back.
Here's a pitch. Ground ball. Third base side gets through for a hit. We'll call that an error, I believe.
Well, she never touched it.
Line drive down the left side for Smith.
It went under her glove.
On first base. Brings in
solid
Edison Talari for the Tigers.
All right, I'll change it.
I think that was more of a hit than the other one. So,
Single for Smith. How about that?
I think they're both hits. How's that sound?
No, we like your opinion.
Yeah, I understand.
Here's Talari. Change up is high and away. ADM has a runner on. The leadoff hitter aboard here at the top of the 4th. 4-0 Tigers. And Talari, who's had that sac bunt back in the 2nd, helping get that runner home, is at the plate. Here's the pitch. Pop up, playable. Here comes Jill Satoff down the line. Makes the catch. What a play by Satoff.
Nice catch.
Satoff.
Tagged by the first
good to be aware after she made the catch.
Her name is Jillian Satoff.
Look up because you got a runner there that you got to take care of.
Back to the top of the order for the Tigers. Number
came
28.
flying in from first base. It was well into foul territory.
Back.
And she came flying in and dove forward and made a gutsy play. Nice job.
Because I don't think Lila knew where it went.
No. Satoff had a jump on it. Good play by Jillian Satoff. 1 out for ADM, 1 on. Here's Vaughn Roden, the slapper. There's a strike call. Threw to first base, and it hit the runner. That had to hurt.
That had to hurt.
Oh, man, right in the back. And Wiederstein throws bullets, man.
I understand.
Oh, boy.
You know that
right there in the back. Might have knocked the wind out of her.
I don't like to see anybody get hit.
Ooh,
but
I don't either.
That's the perils of the game.
So what happened was the runner was diving back to first, and Wiederstein's throw down the line at 70 mile an hour hit the runner, and just a thud right there in her back. And she's tough, though. She's back up, and that's Smith. 0-1 pitch coming away for a ball. 1-1 the count to Vaughn Roden. She's still at the plate, Roger?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, like I said earlier, when you got a left-handed batter, it's tough to go down to first base because you've got to clear out.
Timeout call by, sorry, Roger. Timeout call by Coach Hinsman here.
Yep.
1-1 the count. ADM jumped out to a 3-0 lead at the top of the first inning. Vaughn Roden with a single. Lauren Hagedorn hit a single and drove home Vaughn Roden. And then Kinsey Maxwell stepped up and blasted a 2-run homer. And that put the ADM Tigers up 3-0. Maddie James had the 4th straight hit, but she was left at first. Next run came in the second, and that was Ella Smith walk. And she scored on Vaughn Roden's ground ball to make it a 4-0 game. 7 hits for ADM Atlantic with 3 hits so far. Timeout is done by Coach Hinsman. He goes back. And Vaughn Roden, who's been at the plate for a couple days here, is still there.
Yeah.
Good hitter and slap hitter. Singled and ground out. Her 3rd appearance here in the top of the 4th inning. The left-handed batter. 1 ball and 1 strikes. Smith, the runner at first base with that single. And the 1-1 pitch is incoming. That's a strike call. The count is 0-1. Kirchhoff has walked 1 and yet to get her first strikeout against a really good hitting team. ADM hitting .342. What's impressive is that slugging percentage at almost 500.
Yeah.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch coming in. That one's high for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Vaughn Roden, a very picky hitter. Not very tall in stature, so somewhat of a small strike zone for Zoe Kirchhoff.
Yeah, but like you said, she's most effective just putting the bat on the ball someplace.
Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Tapper, in front of the plate, picked up by Wiederstein. Guns to first for 1. Satov is there with a squeeze. Again, nice throw by Wiederstein.
First.
She'll
put a runner on second for the Tigers.
So Smith will jaunt on out to second base on that.
Next up, third baseman Lauren Hagedorn.
Lauren Hagedorn, a single and drove in a run. She lined out to second. Her 3rd appearance, 1 on and 2 down for ADM. A 4-0 lead. Zoe Kirchhoff in the circle for Atlantic here at the top of the 4th inning. And the pitch is on the way. Here it is. Swung on base. Oh, caught by McLaren. That sounded a little harder off the bat.
It did sound a little harder off the bat.
You bet. McLaren
McLaren
drifted to her left and made the grab.
Closed it out.
And Atlantic again holding ADM scoreless here in back-to-back innings. Tigers 4, Atlantic nothing. We go to the bottom half of the 4th, the Trojan side. And we'll be back right after these at 95.7 FM.
At Seed Pros, our mission is to be your business partner every day of every season.
Pioneer Hybrid International was founded in Iowa back in 1926 and is still American today. Not many other seed providers can make that claim.
We partner with you to continually push the limits by combining elite seed genetics, local infield knowledge, along with customer service second to none.
We are with you from the word go. Contact Mark Van Tiger, Gary Dinkla, Nick Knutson, or John Becker to partner with a team that puts your business needs first.
At Rolling Hills Bank and Trust, we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We've been dedicated to our communities for over 35 years. From real estate and ag loans to personal and commercial banking, we offer a full range of financial services tailored to meet your needs. We believe in giving back and being involved in the communities we serve. Stop into one of our 12 convenient locations or visit us at rollinghillsbank.com.
Let the good times roll.
Welcome back. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Line drive, right field. Back goes Troster. Makes the grab at the fence. It's
Snag in deep right field.
That's good hit, a good catch.
That's Troster on the snag.
Troster made the grab at the fence.
I'll tell you what, their outfield is playing fairly deep.
Right fielder, Dylan Ball.
You're not going to get it over their head.
Zoe Kirchhoff gave that a ride. Flew out to right. A nice tag by Kirchhoff. A nice catch by Troster. Here's the pitch on the way to Dylan Ball. A tapper right back to Pitlick in the circle. She'll lob it to first. 2 up and 2 down for Atlantic in a blink of an eye, Roger Warren.
Well, that's sometimes how it works. I mean, she hit the ball and pitcher made a great play.
Going back to Zoe Kirchhoff.
Trojans, number 4,
Kirchhoff has had a great season hitting the ball. 39 RBI. Her slugging percentage, .648. With 3 home runs, she had 3 triples, 8 doubles. She hits with power. That one was right there at the fence on the right field side. Went with the pitch and still had power.
Yeah.
Pitch outside for a ball to Schroeder. Claire flew out to center field. The back-to-back flyouts a second to the center fielder, Anderson Talari. There's the pitch. That's a ball high, 2-0. Schroeder, the 6th hitter in the lineup for Atlantic, hitting .341 of the year. Pretty good clip. Only struck out 20 times this year. 88 at-bats. That was a strike, 3-0, excuse me, a ball.
Nope, that was a strike.
Okay, there we go, yeah.
Yeah, he's a little slow getting his hands up, 2-1.
2 balls and a strike is Schroeder at the plate. Here's the pitch.
That was a ball.
Boy, just missed.
I can see that one.
Yeah, you were. 3 balls and 1 strike to Schroeder here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Nobody on, 2 down for Atlantic, 4-0 ADM. That pitch is tapped towards the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Schroeder gets a single to center field for Atlantic.
That's a base hit for Schroeder.
That'll keep the inning alive.
Next at bat for the Trojans, number 15, Peyton McLaren.
Here comes Peyton McLaren. You got a little bit of a feeling Atlantic may get something going here.
Well,
they're due.
They're due. You just got to do it with 2. That's the tough part.
McLaren singled her last time up. We're in the bottom half of the 4th, 1 on and 2 down. Schroeder at first. Here's the pitch by Pitlick, a tapper foul. Peyton, the 7th hitter in the Trojan lineup, hitting .308 on the season. Picked up her 14th single, her last time up. McLaren has been at the plate 91 times this year. That pitch low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah.
And Satoff on deck. They're in a right-handed batter with Schroeder at first.
Schroeder doesn't want to get that far off the bat.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled straight back. 2 strikes on Peyton McLaren as she battles here. McLaren, as I mentioned, 91 at-bats. She scored 14 times, 29 hits with that single, 14 singles, 12 doubles, 2 3-baggers, and 1 dinger. That pitch is a called strike 3, a beauty.
McLaren is struck out.
Looking, and that'll be it for the Trojans.
Tigers still
no runs. Trojans
lead.
got a hit. No errors, and again left 1. Atlantic has left a runner each inning. They have 4 LOBs so far in the game. After 4 innings, ADM leading by the score of 4-0. We go to the top of the 5th. We're back right after these at 95.6.
Olson's Outdoor Power is your one-stop service and equipment shop for all things outdoor. We sell the best power sports products in the business, from Polaris, Can-Am, Sea-Doo, and Ski-Doo, trailers to tackle any job from H&H, Triton, and Wilson, and we continue to lead the way in lawn and garden equipment with great products from Exmark, Dixie Chopper, Husqvarna, Cub Cadet, Steel, and Echo. Add factory-trained technicians in 2 locations, and it's easy to see why Olson's Outdoor Power is the leader in all things outdoor. Olson's Outdoor Power, your one-stop service and equipment shop with locations in Atlantic and Carroll.
First Windy Bank is the longest-standing locally owned bank in Atlantic, and as such, we take pride in how we serve our community. For generations, we have been involved with our customers and their families by getting involved in community events and by supporting technology and teaching financial literacy in our schools. You'll also see our support of athletics on the scoreboards at home events. It's this involvement that allows us to know our customers and their families for generations. First Windy Bank, the only bank you'll ever need. Member FDIC.
Outlet store in Atlantic. Stop by today.
Welcome back to Atlantic. We go to the top of the 5th inning, and ADM with a shutout so far, 4-0. And stepping in for the Tigers, 3-hitter Kinsey Maxwell, left-handed batter. Maxwell with that 2-run homer and a single. He's 2 for 2 for the Tigers. First pitch is out of the zone for a ball, 1-0 the count. 3, 4, and 5 for ADM. Top of the fifth, 4-0 Tigers with the lead out of the Raccoon River Conference. They're the second best record in that conference. The pitch swung on and snagged by Kirchhoff. A line drive up the middle.
Line drive is snagged by the pitcher, Kirchhoff.
They call that self-preservation.
Oh, man. And you better check the webbing in her glove right there, baby.
Next up, the left fielder, number 7, Matty James.
That ball was tattooed. And Zoe had the wherewithal to snag it right there. What is she, 60 feet away?
Yep, that's what they call it.
Man, oh, man. Nice job by Zoe. 1 out. Here's James. Matty James. Oof. That ball was coming at her. Hard to see. Ball low and in for a ball. James singled and popped up 1 for 2. ADM 4 runs and 7 hits. Atlantic no runs yet on 4 hits. James, the right-handed hitting left fielder for the Tigers. Top of the fifth. Kirchhoff the side. Here's the delivery. There's a tapper to third. Schroeder gloves it. She'll fire to first for the out. Up 2 up and 2 down.
Play. That'll give her some confidence.
Out at first.
After ADM scored 3 in the first and 1 in the second.
First baseman, number 9.
Kirchhoff shut him down in the third, shut him down in the fourth, and now 2 up and 2 down in the fifth.
So far, so good right now. They're just, she gets stronger as the game goes on.
Here's Kennedy Stanford to the plate, popped up and reached a fielder's choice and was standing at second base her last time up. The pitch. There's a tapper slicing foul left side. Count is 0-1 to Kennedy Stanford, the 5th hitter in the lineup, batting .324 coming into tonight. 17 singles, 22 hits, and 68 at bats. She's now 22 of 70 on the year. Nobody on and 2 down, 4-0 ADM. We're the top of the 5th inning. Zoe brings it outside for a ball.
I don't know. I'm watching Dylan out there. She's playing a little shallow, but you got a left-handed hitter that really looks like she could tag one if you wanted to.
Well, Stanford.
But scouting report probably is telling you that.
He has 4 doubles. 1-1. That in the dirt outside. 2 balls and a strike. It's just 4 doubles on the year. Does Kennedy Stanford. 16 RBI. 1 home run. I mean, she's belted one. It doesn't say where, but she has 1. 2 balls and a strike, and again, boy, Dylan Bald is playing shallow and right.
But if you can't get around like she hit that one that made good contact with, was opposite field, so.
And maybe that's where she goes, obviously.
That's exactly right.
He knows what he's doing. That pitch is low and away, 3-1. 3 balls and a strike. And they're shifted. There's a big hole in right center field.
Yep.
Schrader is favoring towards left field, and then McLaren is towards the line and left.
Right.
Here's a 3-1. That's a strike, and the count 3 balls and 2 strikes.
From up here, Lila gave him a little help.
So too. She framed that.
She framed it
like a Picasso painting.
Yep. Get that baby up there. Make it look good.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on, 2 down for ADM. 4-0 Tigers. Here's the pitch on the way. Oh, ball 4.
Yep.
Just missed away. Stanford with a good at bat draws the walk. Here comes Pitlick. Popped up and singled. She's 1 for 2.
McKenna Pitlick.
Pitlick represents the 6th hitter of the Tiger lineup. We're going to have a runner at first. Number 4 is going to head out there.
Lauren Troster in the run.
So Troster will run at first with 2 down. 4-0 ADM.
Lauren Troster.
So Troster at first. For Kennedy Stanford, she'll go back to the dugout, and McKenna Pitlick will step in. Pitlick's 3rd appearance against Kirchhoff. We're the top of the 5th. Pitlick, a right-handed hitter. Batting .338 coming in. 74 at bats. She started 26 of the 27 games played by this softball team. What's Atlantic played? 33? Yeah, Atlantic's played 33 games so far. They've got a doubleheader yet with St. Albert. They've got a single with Trainer.
Yeah. And then 2 more.
And then
so you
2 more,
got 2,
Sioux City
4,
East. Yeah.
5 games plus this one.
Yeah. So we're waiting here.
This is from an official standpoint or umpire standpoint. Keeping the book and keeping the order is just a pain.
Yeah, he's over talking to Coach Hinsman right now, getting some things straightened out. Going back, I'll recap. The Tigers started off hot. Their bats were red hot coming out. They had smoke coming from them. Van Roden singled.
First 3 batters.
First 3 batters. Van Roden singled to get on. Hagedorn then had that RBI single, made it 1-0 game. Then Kinsey Maxwell stepped in, hit the 2-run homer to make it 3-0. And then Tigers played it a run in the second. After that, Zoe Kirchhoff and her defense, they've settled in and shot down the Tigers 3rd and 4th. And right now, there's 2 down in the 5th with 1 on. Pitlick, the batter, here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. Pitlick, a right-handed hitter, the pitcher for ADM that Coach Stanford kind of threw, at least me, for a curveball.
Well,
no pun intended in the first inning. We thought Hagedorn, that was who's in the starting lineup. There's a fly ball deep left. That's going to go foul. We thought Hagedorn was going to pitch. And all of a sudden, Roger says, double take that.
Yeah.
It's Pitlick who's in the circle after 3-0 lead.
And I understand that. It just depends on what they got coming up. But you start out with a 3-0 lead. Hey, that might be a better option for you right now, depending on what she's pitched in the past.
1-1 the count to Pitlick. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, right center. Rolling to her left to Schrader. She'll get there to make the grab.
Schrader with the snag.
Nice job by Schrader in center field. And the 3rd straight inning that Kirchhoff has been able to retire. The Tigers without a run. 4-0. ADM. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Trojans coming to bat. We're back right after these.
Have you ever heard the saying, people spend their life building wealth and neglecting their health, only to wish they could trade their wealth for better health at the end? This is Dr. Fritz Beyer, and it has now been over 30 years since my first chiropractic adjustment. I still get asked, do you get adjusted? Absolutely. I try to get adjusted at least once a month. I'm 47 now and still try to stay as active as ever. While I do get a few more aches and pains than when I was younger, it feels great to be able to step on the mat and help kids learning to wrestle. Chiropractic has helped me feel young enough to do it. If staying active is part of your future plans, call 254-BODY to get your body back to the basics.
Find out more about SWITA and apply today at SWITA.com. SWIPCO is an equal opportunity employer, provider, and lender.
Welcome back to Atlantic. We go the top of the bottom half of the 5th inning, and Trojans turn at the plate. 4-0 ADM.
We got a different pitcher.
Now we have a new pitcher. We'll pick that up here.
Number 6.
We'll get that in a moment. So here's the pitch coming in. That one just a strike call to the outside edge.
Apologies.
To
Number
Satoff.
8. Oh, this is Hagedorn.
So Hagedorn is showing up after all, but not the starter. Here's the 0-1 pitch. High for a ball. That one had some movement on it there. The batter's Jillian Satoff. Her second appearance. She ground out her first time up. Atlantic, no runs and 4 hits. ADM, 4 runs and 7 hits. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Hagedorn in the circle. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss and a rise ball. Well, she's got the stuff, Roger Warren.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is great for the Trojans. Step up there and take a look at those pitches and just make contact.
A .35 ERA. There's a tapper to first. Pitlick will snag it and step on the bag. So Pitlick goes to first.
Satoff thrown out at first.
And there's one down. Satoff got the bat on it anyway.
Well, that's,
Next batter for Atlantic, it's the catcher, number 18, Olivia Knuth.
Olivia Knuth will stand in for Atlantic, the 9th hitter of the Trojan lineup. Nobody on and 1 out.
Well, this is one of the things I'd say ADM's got advantage over a lot of teams. You got 2 really good pitchers that, you can go into these tournaments and play well.
There's the pitch swung on and missed. Fastball by Hagedorn. Boy, she can really wing it. Going to go back and check out her strikeouts so far this season. But she is a .35. That's pretty salty.
Right.
Here's the pitch on the way. 0-1. Outside for a ball. Boy, close work. Hagedorn, 39 innings pitched on the season, 7-0 coming in. And she has 64 strikeouts and a total of 39 innings. Pitch count at 529. 1-1. Drifts high for a ball, 2-1.
So actually, she's, as far as innings pitched, she's the second in order.
Yeah,
Spitley's got more.
No, she's actually third.
Third?
Yeah, Olthoff has 45 innings. Spitlick, who started, has 73.
Okay.
Hagedorn at 39. She's only allowed 6 runs this season. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Nobody on, 1 out. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Hagedorn in the circle.
But she's got just a little more zip on it.
Yeah, she's got more of a fastball, no doubt about it. She's got a riser, too.
Yeah.
2 balls and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom half of the 5th. Atlantic side, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Ball outside.
That'd have been tough on that one.
Oh, boy, tough to hold back, but 3 balls and 2 strikes to Knuth. Good for her. Knuth back in for the Trojans. Nobody on and 1 out in the bottom half of the 5th. 4-0 ADM. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back. I think Hagedorn took a little off that.
It did.
I think she'll come back with a riser here.
And we got a full count. Yeah, that's. I
think she's probably down the middle.
Yeah, I think he's going to give him the heater.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss and a strikeout for Hagedorn. Now there's 2 down for the Trojans here at the bottom of the 5th inning.
Night for the Trojans, McKenna Schrader.
So Schrader will step in for the Trojans. Nobody on it, 2 down. We're here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, 4-0 ADM. That pitch is low and away, and the count is 1-0. Again, ADM with 3 runs in the first and 1 in the second, and there's a lot of zeros on that board after that. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. Letter high fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. The leadoff hitter, McKenna Schrader, singled her first time up. A little bloop. Hit the shortstop. Ella Smith for the out there, 1-1. Swung on and missed. 1-2 the count. 2 down, 8-9. Ground out, strikeout, and now Schrader at the top of the order. Trying to get something going with 2 outs. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, popped up, right at the top of us. Bam. Right at you, Roger Warren.
Hey, it got my camera.
Yeah, it did. It's still working?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did hit it right there in the noggin. There we go.
There we go.
1-2 the count. Schrader at the plate, bottom half of the 5th. Here's the pitch on the way. Outside for ball, 2-2 the count. Hagedorn, she moves that ball around. Good fastball. We've seen a riser. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Schrader. Here it is. Swung on, fouled back. McKenna hanging in there with 2 outs. Oh, just 4 hits in the game, and Schrader has 1 of them. McKenna Sontag the other. Claire Schroeder 1 hit, and McLaren has a single for Atlantic. 7 hits for ADM, including a big home run there in the first inning. Here's the pitch. Changeup is fought off, foul down the right side.
He did fight that one off.
That's, Hagedorn took a lot off that one. An inside pitch, probably the strike zone. Good job by Schrader to fight that off. Center fielder will head back to the batter's box. A righty gets righty with 2-2 count with 2 down the bottom of the 5th inning.
Better be ready to go after it.
Yeah. Here's the offering. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 2 for Hagedorn. Struck out 2 of the 3 Trojan batters. Hagedorn shows why she's got that ERA of .3 something.
Struck out.
As the Trojans retired
the
in order. We're back right after these at 95.7 FM in our live video stream, westernourtoday.com.
At 2nd Street Auto, it's our mission to get you back on the road fast. And it all starts with free local towing. Want your back at the shop? We talk you through your car repair with a free and fair estimate. We do everything in-house so you know who's working on your car. Our Hercules tires come with free road hazard repair, free rotation for the life of the tires, and a free alignment check. And nobody can beat our transmission rebuild and repair experts. Brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, preventative maintenance, and service work make 2nd Street your first stop.
Cass Health in Atlantic, Iowa is a nationally recognized hospital, and we are proud of the awards and all of our recent accomplishments. But do you know what drives us to be the very best? You. We're passionate about helping our patients heal and feel their very best at any age and any stage of life. Cass Health, neighbors caring for neighbors.
Atlantic, a proud part of Meredith Communications. KS 95.7.
Welcome back to Atlantic.
Back
Tom
to the
Robinson
Tigers, number
alongside
13,
Roger
Aubrey
Warren.
Noring.
Top of the 6th inning, 4-0 ADM with the lead. And those 4 runs came in the 1st and 2nd inning. Otherwise, they've been shut down. Atlantic yet to score. The Tigers coming to bat at the top of the 6th as we head towards the 9 o'clock hour. Right-handed batter for ADM is Aubrey Noring. Then Ellis Smith and Anderson Talari, 7, 8, 9 to bat. Here's the pitch by Kirchhoff. That's a strike, and the count is 0-1. Here in the top of the 6th inning. Trojans have Trainer tomorrow night coming to town. I believe that's a 7 o'clock start tomorrow night. Atlantic will play Panorama Baseball. We'll have the baseball game here on KS 95. Pitch way outside for a ball. 1-1 the count. Noring has approached to, 2 approaches. Flew out to right, ground out to short. Her 3rd time at the plate, facing Kirchhoff. Then Ellis Smith, who walked and singled. Kirchhoff with the 1-1. Here it is. High fly ball. Back goes the right fielder. Dylan Ball and drops it. On his second base is Noring, and she's safe in the bag. Thought Ball had it. She was heading out to
with the double.
right center field. Just popped out of the heel of her glove.
Yep. Now, Dylan's been doing a great job this season.
That brings in the shortstop, number 16, Ellis Smith, the junior.
Ellis Smith will step in 1 for 1 if you want to get the walk in there. 3rd plate appearance for Smith, the shortstop for ADM. 1 on and nobody down, 4-0 Tigers. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Runner at second is Noring. Here's the pitch on the way. That's a strike call. Throw down to second, and probably is ill-advised, but nobody's going to go anywhere as Noring will get back to the bank. Wiederstein just wants to exercise that arm a little bit.
I'll tell you what, you got to pay attention.
True.
Lila's got to pay attention to who's going to be out there to catch it.
Almost got away, but Noring stays at bay. Here's the pitch on the way to Ellis Smith. 0-1 pitch coming in. That's outside. Runner gets way off the bag. Throw to second base. Almost got her.
All she had to do is catch it.
I think she was baiting Wiederstein. I mean, she went halfway between second and third almost. And Lila didn't even hesitate. She rifled that down towards the target. And about got her. 1-1 the count to Ellis Smith. So Aubrey Noring reached on an error and now is at second base. Here in the top of the 6th inning. Smith, a right-handed hitter. 4-0 ADM. 1 on and nobody down. Here's the pitch on the way. Bunt, miss, pulled back, throw to third, and the slide in safely. Nobody's on the bag. Noring with a stolen base. She's at third base, 60 feet away. And Ellis Smith at the plate has a chance for a RBI here. 1 on and nobody down. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ellis Smith. And then Talari on deck here for ADM. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way by Kirchhoff. Line drive foul left side. Count remains 1-2 to Ellis Smith. The 8th hitter in the lineup for the Tigers. Right-handed batter gets back in. Big hole up the middle. Otherwise, ball at right field plays fairly shallow. They're deep in left and center to Ellis Smith. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way, and it's low. That's a called strike. Got her. Got her.
Rug her up.
That's the first strikeout here for Kirchhoff in the ball game. Smith strikes out.
That brings in Anderson Talari.
At the plate, the 9th hitter of the lineup. 1 on and 1 out. ADM with a 4-0 lead, 4 runs and 7 hits. Atlantic no runs and 4 hits. Kirchhoff will wind and fire. Swung on towards short. Picked up by McLaren, run scores. Throw is on the money. Satoff with a snag. It's a 6-3 out.
Tolari's thrown out at first. She'll run in.
Scoring is Aubrey Noring on the ground ball.
Top of the order for ADM. That's number 28. Ellie Van Roden.
Ellie Van Roden will step in. Van Roden hitting 1 for 3 tonight. Here at the top of the 6th. Nobody on, 2 down, 1 in. 5-0 ADM here in the top of the 6th inning.
Tolari did her job.
She did. Got the ground ball out. McLaren didn't hesitate, knew where to go. Here's the pitch. Ball low. Von Roden singled and then ground out twice. Her 4th at bat here for ADM. Heading 257 coming in. Walked 10 times, or 10 RBI, I should say. Here's the pitch on the way. Tapper towards short, drops in for a base hit. Von Roden the slapper, and she gets her 2nd hit.
Von Roden with the single.
They tried to play that right. They were just about there, but it just dropped in the hole.
Next batter's going to be
1 out and 2 down, and 1 in for ADM here in the 6th.
Hagedorn.
Lauren Hagedorn will stand in. She's 1 for 3. RBI single the 1st inning, lined out the 2nd, and lined out in the 4th. Lined out to Sontag, gets 2nd, and the shortstop McLaren in that 4th inning. We're the top of the 6th, 5-0 ADM. 1 on and 2 down. Here's Hagedorn. Here's the pitch coming. That's a strike called outside edge. Count 0-1 to Hagedorn. 393 batting average, 37 RBI with that run driven in tonight. Is 7 home runs of the year. 1-1 the count to Hagedorn, the junior. Here's the pitch on the way. Just missed away. Throw down to first, not in time. Sliding back safely, Von Roden. Now look how deep the Trojans are playing in the outfield, Roger.
Yeah, well.
And left, they're about to the warning track.
Yeah, they are.
And we're talking about the left fielder, Madison McLaren, the center fielder, McKenna Schrader. Dillon ball not so deep and right, but deep enough. Here's the 1-1 pitch coming in. Swing and a foul ball. 1 and 2, big out here for the Trojans with Hagedorn at the plate. What a ball player she is. She played 3rd to start the game and then took over the circle. She's got a gun for an arm at 3rd.
Overhand. Not only underhand, but overhand.
Had 2 strikeouts. We came in a pitch in the 5th out of the 3 batters. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on a ground ball to 2nd. Sontag will gobble it up, fires the 1st. It gets Hagedorn. Looks like she has good speed down the line as well.
Second base.
McKenna makes the play for Atlantic.
We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. Score 5-0 in favor of the Tigers.
1 run.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin
1 hit.
the second half of the 6th inning,
No
we'd like
errors,
to highlight a
and they
special
left
young man
1.
as he's going to be celebrating a
coming
birthday.
at the bottom half of the 6th inning, trailing 5-0.
The home dugout. There's
right
a man
after
wearing an
these.
orange shirt over there. His name's Corbin Ritter. Make sure you wave.
Locally owned CarQuest Auto Parts store is seeking help to fill a part-time or possibly full-time position. While experienced in
Gas prices got you down? Need a ride to work or the grocery store? There's public transportation for everyone in Southwest Iowa. SWITA offers taxi service in Atlantic, Glenwood, Harlan, Missouri Valley, Red Oak, and Shenandoah. $2.50 each way or $2 for seniors 60 years and older. Just call 1-800-842-8065 or visit swita.com to schedule your ride.
Stein delivers more new genetics faster. Our focus on delivering higher yielding genetics faster than the competition is why we have released more new Enlist E3 lines in the past 5 years than any other seed company. For elite genetics paired with simple, flexible, and effective weed control, plant Stein Enlist E3 soybeans. Stein has yield. 45 years of yield. Learn more at steinseed.com.
Subscribe, powered by Nishna Nets and on a radio 95.7 FM. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning, 5-0 ADM with the advantage. McKenna Sontag at the plate, 2, 3, and 4 to bat for the Trojans here in the frame.
Just make contact.
Hagedorn in the circle, brings the pitch. There's a drive, right side foul. Sontag had the sac bunt in the 1st and singled in the 3rd inning for the Trojans.
She hit that pretty well. The pitcher's providing all the power. Just put the bat on the ball.
310 average for Sontag coming in. She laid down her third sacrifice bunt of the season. Here's the pitch. That's high and away. 2-1 the count to the lone senior in the team, McKenna Sontag, and she'll be honored tomorrow night in the trainer contest on senior night. She'll get all the attention as a lone senior. Good for her. There's a pop-up. Shortstop Ella Smith is there to make the catch.
Just got underneath it.
That's a snag by the shortstop.
One
Smith
out
for the Tigers.
And 4 straight retired by Hagedorn, pitching in relief here for ADM. Lila Wiederstein will stand in a strikeout and a ground out for Wiederstein tonight with that swelled batting average of .524 coming in. Just a sensational season for Wiederstein. Fastball's a strike, and the count is 0-1 to the junior. Wiederstein, 82 at-bats this year, and she has 43 hits and 82 at-bats. 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed.
She was going to get that one.
Went fishing for that one high and away, and 0-2 the count. Nobody on, 1 out for Atlantic. We're in the 6th inning. ADM up 5-0. Wiederstein, right-handed hitter, gets the righty. Hagedorn, here's the pitch. There's a pop-up. Shortstop Smith coming in, makes the catch. 3 up and 3 down for Atlantic here in the 6th inning, and that'll be it for the
correction.
Or check a 2 up and 2 down.
We got 2 down. 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, excuse me.
That's 2 outs for the Trojans, and it brings in Zoe Kirchhoff.
Zoe Kirchhoff will stand in. And Kirchhoff 0 for 2, a fly ball to center and fly ball to right. See if she can get something going for the Trojans here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, down 5-0. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. A couple of pop-ups, same direction to Smith here in the 6th inning. 1-1 the count to Kirchhoff with Dylan Ball on deck for Atlantic here in the 6th inning. Here's the 0-1. Strike called, 0-2. 2 strikeouts for Hagedorn. She's faced 5 batters since taking over the 5th inning. Retired 5 straight. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way, outside. Count 1-2. She threw that in there thinking that maybe she could get Kirchhoff to go fishing. Yep. She didn't chase. Kirchhoff's got discipline there at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Ball outside. 2-2 the count to Zoe Kirchhoff, and she's had a terrific year hitting the ball as well for Atlantic, hitting .429 of the year. Right-handed hitter, first team all-conference player a year ago. There's a pop fly ball. Right field on the run is Troster and couldn't quite catch up to it.
Well, that's where she caught the last one, was over there.
That was a little tougher play.
Yep.
And was sinking fast towards the fence. 2-2 the count. As Zoe Kirchhoff, the cleanup hitter for Atlantic, stays alive here with 2 down in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Kirchhoff a tough out. She's only struck out 8 times so far this season. 2-2 the count here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And we've got time called as Maxwell wants to go out and
make sure they got the right pitch.
Hagedorn had a smile on her face. I don't know what the conversation's about. It could be out. I don't want to throw that.
Yeah, okay.
This is what I'm going to throw.
Yeah, no kidding.
We don't know. 2-2 pitches high. Now the count is full to Zoe Kirchhoff with 2 down here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 5-0 ADM, 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the top of this frame. Here's the pitch. Swung on, pop up. Third base side. The catch is made by Pitlick.
Now ball snagged by the third baseman.
3 up and 3 down, all pop-ups.
That's Noring for the Tigers.
And that'll be it for Atlantic. We're through 6 innings. 5-0 lead for ADM.
Get ready for a fresh start at Greg Young Atlantic. Our Greg Young Fresh Start program helps you hit the road with confidence, overcome credit challenges with personalized financing, and a wide selection of great vehicles. Visit us today to find your brand new Chevy, GMC, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram, or check out our huge pre-owned selection at GregYoungAtlantic.com and GregYoungCDJRAtlantic.com. And to apply. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Here at Greg Young, we go the extra mile for you.
At Oak Point Wealth Management, we believe your financial plan should reflect what matters most to you. Whether you're preparing for retirement, managing your assets, or facing life's next big decision, our experienced team will help you create a strategy aligned with your goals and values. With offices in Atlanta, Carlin, and Shenandoah, we offer clear, personalized guidance designed to help you stay on track no matter what life brings. Call Aaron Friend or Mick Allen at 712-207-3521 or visit oakpointwealth.com to start planning your financial future today.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Great Valley Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. Great Valley Advisor Group and Oak Point Wealth Management are separate entities from LPL Financial.
To the top of the 7th we go, and Kirchhoff is gone the whole way for Atlantic. ADM up 5-0, 5 runs on 8 hits. Atlantic, runs on 4 hits so far. They'll get a chance in the bottom half of the 7th.
Well, I'll tell you what, you take that first inning out of there.
Kinsey Maxwell.
And it's a 2-0 ball game,
Well,
so it's like
you're right.
She settled in. They got a couple of runs here lately, but she's done a nice job. And just the Trojans haven't been able to back up with the bats.
Yeah, 4 straight hits, including a 2-run homer for ADM in that first inning, and that really got them off to a 3-0 lead. Pitch fouled off by Kinsey Maxwell, who had a 2-run homer in the first inning, singled in the third, and lined out, one of the hardest hits you'll see tonight. And Zoe Kirchhoff made the snag there with that glove, and she needs to a great reaction. That thing was coming right at her and able to get the snag on that. 0-1 the count to Kinsey Maxwell. The catcher looks at the striking outside edge. 0-2 the count. Nice pitch by Kirchhoff. Maxwell, James, and Stanford to bat for ADM here in the top of the 7th inning. Zoe Kirchhoff. Well, Atlantic, look at how they shift defensively too, Roger.
Yep.
0-2 outside, 1-2 the count. Nice pitch by Kirchhoff, though, to see if Maxwell would go fishing for that. She did not. Left-handed batter. 1 ball and 2 strikes for the top of the 7th here in Atlantic. Kirchhoff winds and fires. Change up high for a ball, 2-2 the count. Kirchhoff with 1 strikeout. She has a pair of walks in the game. Allowed 5 runs, 8 hits. Zoe gets the target from Wiederstein. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. High, ball 3, 3-2. Balls and 2 strikes. Claire Schroeder at third. Its shortstop is McLaren. Sontag at second. Satoff at first. Wiederstein, the catcher, and here's the pitch on the way by Kirchhoff. Swung on, base hit, right left field. Nice piece of hitting by Maxwell. Went with the pitch.
Yep.
Opposite way, Madison McLaren will toss it in. 9th hit for ADM, and they've got a runner on to lead off the 7th inning.
Well, she battled, and Zoe put one there, and she went, like you said, went with the pitch. And
Peyton Herrick in at first base.
So Herrick will run at first for Maxwell. Maddie James will stand in, 1 for 3. Had the 4th straight hit in that first inning for the Tigers. Popped up to short of the 3rd and ground out to 3rd base in the 5th. The 1 on, nobody down for ADM here in the top half of the 7th inning. There's Kirchhoff. She'll wing it in. There's a line drive, base hit up the middle. Room service to center field of McKenna Sante, or Schrader rather, gets the 1 hopper.
James with line drive to center
back
field.
into the infield.
First and second for ADM.
ADM has runners at first and second.
Kennedy Stanford.
Kenny Stanford will step in, popped up, reached the fielder's choice, and drew the walk in the 5th inning. 2-1 and nobody down for the Tigers, top of the 7th, 5-0 lead. Stanford, a left-handed hitter, will step in. Kirchhoff, the sign. Here's the pitch on the way. It is a line drive up the middle. That may score a run. Rounding third is Kinsey Maxwell. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. Throw to third. There's a tag. Oh, they didn't get her. Whoa,
I agree with him.
Close. Okay.
It was close. I agree with him.
RBI hit by Stanford.
RBI contact for Stanford.
And she ends up on second base and scoring Maxwell.
Second and third for the Tigers.
And it's now a 6-0 game.
McKenna Pitlick.
James at second. James at third, and second base is Stansford. Here comes McKenna Pitlick to the plate. Pitlick popped up, singled, and flew to center field. Nobody out for ADM. They're up 6-0 with runners at second and third. And Pitlick, the 6th hitter in the lineup, will step in. Coach Hinsman now walking out towards the infield, and he's going to go back.
Oh, McKenna had a question for him.
Oh, okay.
How are we going to play this?
Whatever she said, she made him laugh.
Yeah.
He chuckled there and went.
We got to go home and try to save the run or get the out.
Exactly.
Where are you going to go with
the
this?
question, yeah. 2-1 and nobody down for ADM. 6-0 lead here in the top of the 7th. Zoe Kirchhoff in the circle for Atlantic. Here's the pitch on the way. Low for a ball, throw to third, not in time. Boy, the Trojan infielders, especially Schroeder, Sontag, and Satoff, always need to be on alert.
Yep.
Because Wiederstein is going to throw it, and you better be there. And so far, they have been.
Yep.
Here's the 1-0 pitch coming in with 2-1. There's a tapper to short. McLaren gloves it. Fires the first, gets the out. Runner goes to third, and the run scores. Now the ball gets away from Schroeder.
She's going to say, there's no reason for trying to run it.
So Maddie James scores on the ground out by Pitlick. And there's one out, 2 in.
Next at bat,
Tigers here at the top of the 7th, 7-0.
Aubrey Noring.
Aubrey Noring will step in, 0 for 3, but scored a run. Noring, the 7th hitter in the lineup for the Tigers. A runner at third for ADM is Stanford. Herrick, running for Stanford. Kirchhoff in the circle. Here's the pitch on the way. Bunt. First base side. Runner comes home. Here's the throw to first. They can't get it to Sontag. Satoff's throw to first went wide. So Noring reaches on the throwing error.
Puts a runner on first.
And a run scores. Now it's an 8-0 lead for ADM here in the top of the 7th with 1 on and 1 out. Ella Smith, the batter, walked, singled, and struck out in the 6th inning.
Well, I know that just watching as it developed, probably the smart play is to take it to 1, but I think she had time to take it home.
Might have.
She had time to take it home, and at this juncture, the way the score is, it might have been worth a try.
Well, I guess to piggyback on your point, Satoff was coming in towards the plate, did not have to pivot, right?
Right. She just could have underhanded it and possibly got it. Because that's a tough throw to turn completely around and throw backwards.
Pitch to Ella Smith, pop up, shallow center. In comes Schrader, makes the catch. Schrader does a nice job out there.
Schrader with the snag.
Has good range left and right and coming in, and there's 2 down for the Tigers. Batter is Aniston Talari, the 9th hitter of the lineup, her 4th appearance.
Number 3, center fielder Aniston
She had a sack
Talari.
run in the 2nd, popped up in the 4th, round out of the 6th. We're in the top of the 7th, 8-0 ADM with a lead over Atlantic. Tigers ranked 4th in Class 4A, Atlantic 12th in Class 3A. 7th hitter to appear for ADM. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. 0-1 the count. Maxwell led off with a single. Maddie James had a single. Stanford with a single. Pitlick had a RBI ground out. Aubrey Noring reached on an error. Here's the 0-1. That's ball low. Ella Smith flies out to center, and here's Talari at the plate for ADM, and then the top of the order. So number 7 at the plate here in this inning. 3 runs scored by the Tigers. That pitch is popped up, center field. Schrader calls it, doesn't even hardly moves a muscle, makes the catch.
They call that a can of corn.
Yeah, here you go, can of corn, baby.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
Tigers are running in stream.
Well, the Tigers score 3 runs in the frame on
We're
3
headed
hits.
to the bottom of the 7th.
And 1 Atlantic error, and they left the runner. We're through 6.5. ADM with an 8-0 lead. Atlantic with some work to do in the bottom half of the inning. We'll bring it to you right after these at 95.
Hey there, this is Tanner from your Atlantic Hy-Vee, and I've got some exciting news to share. Thanks to your feedback, we're currently rated the friendliest Hy-Vee in the entire company. That's a huge honor, and on behalf of the whole team, thank you to everyone who's taken time to share their thoughts. Did you know you can leave feedback too? Just check the link on the bottom of your Hy-Vee receipt or in your email after a purchase. Whether it's a compliment or constructive criticism, I love reading our surveys and making sure we're always improving. And as always, thank you for shopping your Atlantic Hy-Vee.
When you're on the go, it's all about convenience. Add fantastic food, beverages, plus BP superior fuels, and you have Olson's BP in Atlantic. From sunup to sundown, we're the keep you going store. From our loaded breakfast burritos and Bunker Dunker donuts to our delicious Champs chicken and pizza to go, we have the food you crave. Don't forget the cold beer in the beer cave. Stop in and fill her up. There's always something you need at Olson's BP, the keep you going store.
5-0. Welcome back to Atlantic. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. And the Trojans trailing ADM by the score of 8-0. Dylan Ball leading off for Atlantic, followed by Claire Schroeder and then Peyton McLaren. Atlantic batting 5, 6, and 7 here in the frame. Trojans' last chance here. They're down by 8-0. Here's the pitch by Hagedorn to Ball, swing and a miss, 0-2 the count. One ball flew out to center in the second inning and ground out to the 4th. Ball hitting well this season.
Well, it's good to see this pitcher. I mean, you got to say, hey, I got to get better.
0-2 pitch. Outside for a ball.
Yep.
Close work.
I'll tell you what, that thing's reeling in there.
Has some good speed on the ball. As Hagedorn, a .31 ERA coming in. 7-0 in the season. Here's the 1-2. Riser's high, 2-2 the count. She moves the ball around. We'll see what she comes back here. Comes back with here is the count is even at 2-2 to Ball leading off the inning. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Hagedorn. It took over in the 5th inning. Her third strikeout.
Third baseman, number 4.
She's retired 7 straight since she took over. Claire Schroeder will step in for Atlantic. Nobody on and 1 out. 8-0 ADM with the lead. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Schroeder had his single, one of the 4 Atlantic hits here in the game. That pitch is swung on and missed. Schroeder's hit came in the 4th against Pitlick. Her first time facing Miss Hagedorn, who is just rolling right along here for ADM. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed, I believe. Got away from the catcher. 0-2 the count. Schroeder plays third for Atlantic and bats .341 on the year. No balls and 2 strikes to Schroeder. With Peyton McLaren on deck, McLaren is 1 for 2. Here's the 0-2 pitch coming. Swing and he didn't go.
He's going to give it to her.
He's going to stay alive here. I was pretty sure she cracked her wrist there.
Well, it's got to go across the front of the plate.
Yeah, I think she did. Here's the 1-2, high and away. Good job though by Schroeder.
But I agree with you.
2-2 the count. Nobody on and 1 out for Atlantic. We're in the bottom half of the 7th. See if Claire can get the bat of the ball here against a very tough pitcher in Hagedorn. Here's the pitch coming in, swung on, popped up, foul, straight back against the netting, and Schroeder stays alive. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Schroeder has struck out to 20 times this year and 88 at bats. So tough out is Schroeder. Right-handed hitter with a stout batting average. .341. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Hagedorn. Back-to-back Ks in this frame.
Next up to bat.
And Peyton McLaren will step in. She's 1 for 2. Single to the second inning and struck out looking in the 4th against Pitlick. Her chance to try to break Hagedorn's string of 8 straight retired here at the bottom of the 7th. 8-0 ADM. Fastball's a strike outside corner. Tigers 1 out away. Atlantic with trainer tomorrow night. Right back here on their home field. It'll be senior night. Here's the 0-1. Tapper down the first baseline foul. The count is 0-2. Trojans play St. Albert on Thursday morning.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. 2 of them there.
Going to have to set the tent up for that one because it's going to be, sun's going to be beating down on me, and I'm not.
You don't think you can sneak up here?
No, I don't think I can sneak up here.
0-2 pitch. Tapper to second. 8 up and fire to first, and that'll be it for The Trojans in the game as Von Roden makes the play on a 4-3, and I'll tell you,
ADM High School.
Hagedorn
See you all Trojan fans
came in the fifth inning and retired 9 straight Trojan batters.
That'll be versus
and that'll be it here for tonight. 8-0 ADM with the win over the Atlantic Trojans. We'll wrap things up here in a moment. 95.7 FM, our live video stream on westerniowatoday.com and our live video stream on YouTube.
At Seed Pros, our mission is to be your business partner every day of every season.
Pioneer Hybrid International was founded in Iowa back in 1926 and is still American today. Not many other seed providers can make that claim.
We partner with you to continually push the limits by combining elite seed genetics, local infield knowledge, along with customer service second to none.
We are with you from the word go. Contact Mark Van Tiger, Gary Dinkla, Nick Knudsen, or John Becker to partner with a team that puts your business needs first.
At Rolling Hills Bank and Trust, we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We've been dedicated to our communities for over 35 years. From real estate and ag loans to personal and commercial banking, we offer a full range of financial services tailored to meet your needs. We believe in giving back and being involved in the communities we serve. Stop into one of our 12 convenient locations or visit us at rollinghillsbank.com.
Welcome back to Atlantic. 8-0 win. 8 runs on 11 hits for ADM in the ball game, and that first inning was a big one. Then they picked up some big insurance runs in the top of the 7th for Atlantic. They went scoreless in the ball game. They did pick up 4 hits in the contest. That was through 4 innings. Then Miss Hagedorn took over.
Kind of shut things down.
And Lauren Hagedorn showed why she has an ERA of .3.
Yeah,
and
no doubt.
Retired 9 straight Trojan batters. To recap the ball game, it started with 4 straight hits and 1 big loud one by Kinsey Maxwell. Elliot Von Roden singled. Lauren Hagedorn stepped in and drove her home with 1 on and nobody down and 1 in. Kinsey Maxwell hit a bomb over the right center field fence, a 2-run homer there.
2-run, yeah, no doubt.
3-0 there. Maddie James singled, and then Zoe Kirchhoff settled in and retired the 5th, 6th, and 7th batter. But it was a 3-run, 4-hit first inning for ADM.
Okay.
They played another run in the second inning to make it 5-0. But then the Trojans were able to shut the ADM down. They didn't score again until that 6th inning, and they did get 1 run on 1 hit in the 6th to make it 6-0, and then they were able to plate 3 more in the 7th. So 3 runs in the first. They made it 4-0 after 2, and 5-0 after 6, and 3 runs in the 7th on 3 hits in the ball game for the Tigers. They win 8-0, 8 runs on 11 hits. For Atlantic, they just couldn't quite get enough base runners, Roger Warren, in the ball game.
I'm not sure we got anybody to third, but as the game went on, yeah, it ended up 8-0. It looks like it's going to be a hard defeat, but it's like it was just little bits at a time. I mean, that first inning was a tough one on them, and then that 7th inning was another tough one on them, and it didn't seem like to me that Trojans battled. It's good to see that good of pitching. That's a good ball club, and you learn from it. And if you can learn from it, then if you've seen that all the time, or day in and day out, it'd be a different story. And you said, you talked about the Raccoon River. I'll tell you what, the teams that you named off, there's a lot of ball clubs.
North Polk, Carlisle, and
that have got
Winterset in that league.
Top-notch program. So
once again, the final 8-0 in favor of the ADM Tigers, as they'll head back to Central Iowa with another victory under their belt here, as this season is starting to wind down here in 2025. We're going to hear from Atlantic head coach Terry Hinsman coming up, but first we'll take this time out. We're back right after these.
Olson's Outdoor Power is your one-stop service and equipment shop for all things outdoor. We sell the best power sports products in the business, from Polaris, Can-Am, Sea-Doo, and Ski-Doo, trailers to tackle any job from H&H, Triton, and Wilson, and we continue to lead the way in lawn and garden equipment with great products from Exmark, Dixie Chopper, Husqvarna, Cub Cadet, Steel, and Echo. Add factory-trained technicians in 2 locations, and it's easy to see why Olson's Outdoor Power is the leader in all things outdoor. Olson's Outdoor Power, your one-stop service and equipment shop with locations in Atlantic and Carroll.
Talk about the contest.
It's 8-0, and I guess I'm disappointed about a few things. Like Zoe pitched well enough probably to win in most ball games, and I thought she had a mistake maybe on the pitch that went out. I don't know what Molly had called on that one, but other than that, I thought she pitched really, really well. Defensively, obviously, we had a couple of miscues there. I thought there were a few things that we could have probably cleaned up a little bit that would have probably not won us the ball game since we didn't get any runs across the plate, but it wouldn't have made it an 8-0 ball game. It would have made it more 4-0 ball game, something like that. But, that's what happens when teams put pressure on you right from the time that they leave the batter's box. So it's, like I told the girls, nobody likes to lose, obviously, but we won't see them again. They'll be up at 4 Dodge, that, but they're in 4A. So, the biggest thing about it is we saw good pitching, like we talked about in the pregame. She's going to Iowa State, and it's the Division I pitcher that you're going to see, and I think it went all the way through the lineup, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she did 9 straight.
Yeah. So, and really on both pitchers, both of them are really good, but both pitchers, I thought that we battled. Sometimes we were behind in the count. We battled and got it to a 3-2 count, fouled some pitches off. They might have ended in a strikeout or a pop-up or a ground out or something like that, but the bottom line was that we were not intimidated at the plate. And I think if you go back maybe to Fort Dodge when we played North Polk, maybe we were a little intimidated by Hosaka. I don't think that we were that intimidated tonight. In fact, I told you in the pregame that 3 or 4 of the girls, they wanted Hagedorn to pitch. They wanted her to just to see how we can compare to with that. So. There's a few things you can see. We're out here taking a few ground balls now and stuff like that. I mean, there's a few things that we need to clean up. That's just how things go. But, all in all, as far as 8-0 losses go, I guess we can live with this one, and we'll fight another day tomorrow against another good pitcher and another good team on what we're terming. I don't know.
Determining. That's good. That's
I've
good.
been talking all day long. Yeah, we're calling it. How about that? We're calling it McKenna Sontag night because she's the sole senior that we have that will be honored tomorrow. So we're looking forward to that.
Very good, Coach. Best of luck tomorrow night. Thanks for stopping by. And
you bet.
We're winding down, man.
I'll never leave you hanging here, Tom. I'll come up and talk to you.
You're awesome. Thanks a bunch. Best of luck tomorrow night.
Thanks, Tom.
You bet. Terry Hensman, head coach of the Atlantic Trojans. They picked up their 22nd win last night with that 1-0 victory over Bishop Heelan. That'll wrap things up this evening. Big thanks to Mr. Roger Warren for joining me here in that video and also color commentary. Roger, any final thoughts here before we break away?
Well, I agree with Coach Hensman. I mean, it was an 8-0 loss. You don't like to lose, but I thought the Trojans battled, and they got Trainer tomorrow night. Trainer's going to be a good ball club coming in here, but I think they're going to dig in and play well tomorrow night, and then they've got the doubleheader on Thursday. I mean, they could have 3 wins by the end of the week, and you go 3 out of 4 in a week. You can't beat that. So it's finish the season out strong. They could get the next 5 and go into the tournament on a roll.
No doubt about it. They'll open up with Harlan coming up a week from this Thursday is when they open up their tournament play on July the 10th. And, of course, we'll be here for the broadcast here on 95.7 FM on our live video stream, westerniowatoday.com. For Roger Warren, I'm Tom Robinson. Thank you for joining us. Our next broadcast coming up tomorrow night. Only we'll be over in the baseball diamond. We'll have the Atlantic Panorama non-conference baseball game. First pitch at 7 o'clock. We'll have it right here on 95.7 FM and our live video stream, westerniowatoday.com. Good night from Atlantic.